Welcome back to Only Talk Sports, and tonight the NBA is back. The Phoenix Suns are traveling on the road to play the Golden State Warriors. Man, time flies, because all I know is that we were doing the NBA Finals, and those were a blast last season, but now we are back for another season of NBA action, the 2023-2024 season, and we already have a game in the books as the Los Angeles Lakers, they fell to the Denver Nuggets, and Nikola Jokic, he did Nikola Jokic-like things, scoring 29 points, 11 assists, and 13 rebounds. That's crazy. Jamal Murray had 21 points, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope had 20. So it looks like the Denver Nuggets are still going to be really solid. Now, for the Lakers, they did not have a bad performance either. LeBron had 21 points, 5 assists, and 8 rebounds. Taurean Prince at 18 points. Anthony Davis at 17 points and 8 boards. But it was not enough as they fell to the Denver Nuggets. The defending champs looking good in their first game of the season. And now we've got the Phoenix Suns playing the Golden State Warriors. A lot of new faces. The Suns have Bradley Beal now. They no longer have Chris Paul. Chris Paul is now with the Golden State Warriors. So in game one, he's already playing his old team. That's going to be really interesting to see, but I cannot wait to get into this game. Live React's going to be awesome for sure. Jeff says, I'm here and ready to roll. Appreciate you for being here. Dave Mills, thanks for stopping by. He says, yo, I appreciate it. It's going to be a good one. I can't believe the NBA is back. College football is in full swing. The NFL has been in full swing for a while. That's been fun to watch, but the NBA, always awesome to react to because of the up and down nature of the game, the way that these players just go up and down the floor, taking the big threes, getting the flashy dunks. The NBA is very fun to watch, and I'm sure this is going to be a fantastic season. There's a lot of teams that can vie for a potential championship this year. I don't really think that many people can say that there is a clear front runner. For the Warriors, you got Chris Paul, Stephon Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, and Kevon Looney in the starting lineup. And for the Suns, you've got Devin Booker, Grayson Allen, Josh Okogie, Kevin Durant, and Yusuf Nurkic. A lot of new faces for both of these teams. Draymond Green is not starting for the Warriors because he is banged up. But outside of that, the starting five is expected for Golden State. For Phoenix, a couple of faces people probably weren't expecting, especially Grayson Allen in the starting five, but here we go. The Warriors, they're at home and they get the ball first. Curry kicks to Chris Paul. It's going to be interesting having the dynamic of 2 point guards on the floor. Chris Paul, he misses his first shot as a Warrior. Now to go back up the floor, you've got the Phoenix Suns with their first possession of the 2023-2024 season. You've got Kevin Durant kicking it back out to Devin Booker. At the top of the key, Booker kicks over to Kevin Durant. Down low to Nurkic, and Nurkic for 2 and 1. So it's a 2-0 lead for Phoenix. That's a really good play right there. The dynamic of Kevin Durant going inside, kicking it down low to the center, that's always going to be a good play. Because Kevin Durant, he is one of the best passers for a taller player in the league. Not as good as Jokic, though. Got to give Jokic his props, but Kevin Durant's still really good at what he does. So now you've got the Suns at the line, and the free throw is knocked down. So it is 3-0. Phoenix takes the early lead. Now you've got Curry bringing the ball off the floor. He's a three-point maestro. Leads the NBA all time in three-point field goals made. He takes a three right here, and he adds to his career total with another one. It's 3-3, and that's a really good sign for Warriors fans that Stephon Curry has still got it at his age. And Phoenix turns the basketball over. Tried to cut it inside, and it went off of the foot of a Phoenix Suns player. So it will be Golden State Warriors basketball. RC is in the building. Appreciate you for being here. He says, Only Talk Sports. Yo, happy to see you, man. I really appreciate you for being here. This should be a good one. Looney down low, and it's swatted away by Nurkic. Really good defense from him down low as Looney tried to go to his weak hand. He was not able to get the shot off. But again, really appreciate you for being here, RC. Just can't believe the NBA is back. It's incredible how fast the offseason went by. Chris Paul down low to Wiggins, 4-2. 5-3, Warriors in front. 10:40 to go in the first quarter. Down low, Booker on the other end, and Booker lays it in. 5-all. Really good offense from both of these teams. Doesn't look like either team has missed a beat from last season. Klay Thompson over to Wiggins for 3, and Wiggins' shot is off the mark. Nurkic loses the ball out of bounds because of pressure from the Warriors, but they're going to say that the ball is off of Golden State. First season as the Suns head coach, Frank Vogel. Used to be the Lakers head coach. A lot of coaching changes as well. There were tons of coaching moves. Obviously, Steve Kerr is still with the Warriors. Now you've got the Suns with the basketball. Bringing it down is Devin Booker out to KD. KD driving in the paint. He misses the jump shot. Chris Paul cannot get the rebound, and it's to Grayson Allen. Back to Kevin Durant in the mid-range. Durant's shot is pure. 7-5, 10 to go in the first quarter. 2 minutes has gone by, and the Suns lead by 2. Paul the other way in the paint. He dribbles it back out. Kicks over to Klay Thompson. Back to Paul. Paul taking a three. His shot is in and out from the outside. Nurkic with the board. Devin Booker bringing it up. 7-5 Suns lead. 9:40 to go in the first quarter. Booker with a crossover. Booker getting in the paint. Kicks over in the corner to Josh Okogie. Down to Nurkic. Nurkic banging with Andrew Wiggins. Down low in the post. Kicks to Durant to Grayson Allen. And Allen's shot is off the mark. Really good passing from the Suns. Just could not get that shot to fall. But they get the offensive rebound. And Devin Booker knocks down a triple. And it is 10-5 Phoenix in front of Golden State. 9 to go in the first quarter. Really good basketball by the Phoenix Suns. Klay Thompson on the other end cannot respond. And now you have the Phoenix Suns with the basketball. Kevin Durant bringing it back up. Down to Devin Booker on the block. Banging with Curry. With a turnaround, Booker shot is in and one. What a shot by Devin Booker. That was pretty good defense by Curry, except for the foul at the end. He leaned a little too far, but this is an insane shot by Devin Booker, showing you the shooting touch he has. Shooting over the shorter Curry. What a turnaround jumper, and the Suns are up 12-5. That was a fantastic shot. Jackson says, "What's up, NBA Nation? Appreciate you for being here, Jackson." And they're showing Devin Booker's stats, 28 points and 6 assists last season. He had a great year, and he's looking like he is off to a great start so far. RC says, "Only Talk Sport, where is Bradley Beal?" That's a great question. I thought he was supposed to be playing. I guess not. That's why I was shocked that Grayson Allen was in the starting lineup and not Bradley Beal. That's wild. Maybe he is on the injury list. I did not check that before going live, but that is a great question. We'll see if he does play, but not looking like it. But right now, the Phoenix Suns are doing really good early. They did just give up a dunk to the Warriors, though, but they're still up 13-7. Booker in the corner to Allen, down low to Nurkic. Nurkic is driving in, banging with Looney, and there is a foul drawn. And that's why you want to have a big center down low. You might not be able to knock down all those threes, but when you can just bang down low and get that foul, and then if you can make the free throws, that is always key and can really help you win games. The center is definitely very important. And yes, I just looked. RC, Bradley Beal back is out for the Suns opener. So he has an injury. It doesn't look like it's too severe, but that's why he's not out there. I did not know about that. It looked like it just came out an hour ago. But we'll have to see if that's going to impact the Phoenix Suns with no Bradley Beal, because he was their big acquisition in the Chris Paul trade. He averages over 20 points a game when he was at the Washington Wizards. So can the Suns go on the road without one of supposedly supposed to be their star players in Bradley Beal, with him being out? But so far, they're looking really good. They're up 15-7 after those Nurkic free throws. Klay Thompson with the ball over to Chris Paul, back to Klay, top of the key. Grayson Allen guarding Klay. Off the dribble, Klay in the mid-range. He takes the jumper, and it's pure. 15-9. Warriors cut it to 6. Jackson says, "I hope Frank Vogel can lead the Suns to an NBA title, but I guess we will wait and see." Definitely a long way to go, Jackson. This is the first game of the season, but that will be really cool for sure if Frank Vogel can get the job done. And KD making it happen in the mid-range. 17-9, 8-point lead for the Suns yet again. 7:30 to go in the first quarter. Wiggins down low, and Wiggins with the turnaround jumper. 17-11, and I think he was fouled as well. 7:33 to go in the first quarter. Wiggins drawing the foul on Kevin Durant, and he will be going to the line. That's a good play by Wiggins. Just overpowering down low, using his size advantage, knocking down the mid-range shot. That's a really good play by Andrew Wiggins. He's one of those guys that has just developed year over year. He was supposed to be a star player out of college, and he just did not really show out early in his career, but he's gotten better, and he averaged 17 points per game last season. He's not a star, but he is such an improved player, and it's nice to see stories like that. After Wiggins hits the free throw, we've got a 5-point game, and Booker all the way to the other end, and he misses a layup. That's really rare for Devin Booker. Wiggins down the floor, he misses the layup as well, so 2 missed layups. Grayson Allen bringing the ball up the floor. Again, he's in the starting lineup since there's no Bradley Beal. And you have on the block Kevin Durant trying to make a move on Chris Paul. He levels Chris Paul, and they call an offensive foul on Kevin Durant. He was just a little bit too aggressive on that drive. It's tough when you're 6'9", though, and you've got a 6-foot guy guarding you. He just bulldozed Chris Paul. Unbelievable. Definitely, you can make an argument that could have been a block, but I think Chris Paul stood his ground, and I think that was a good call. I think that definitely had an argument to be a block just because of the fact that Kevin Durant really didn't push off on that play, but it's just because of the fact that he just leveled him all around. That's why the referees called what they did. I get it, but that was a really funny play right there. There was just no match with Kevin Durant trying to drive on Chris Paul. Chris Paul held his ground, though. Got to give him credit for that. Definitely got to give him credit. 17-12, 7:04 to go in the first quarter. Game is slowed down a little bit with some whistles, but the Phoenix Suns will be inbounding the ball. Kevin Durant has it at the top of the key with Jonathan Kuminga, who's into the game for the Warriors, guarding him. Our first substitutions. You got Kevin Durant in the mid-range. His shot is off the mark. It had a shot to go in. It wasn't a bad shot at all. That's Kevin Durant's sweet spot. Just couldn't get it to drop. Top of the key, you got Looney, which he can't do much with the ball out there. He's trying to get inside. Kicks to Kuminga, who a lot of Warrior fans are thinking he could improve this season. Klay Thompson for 3. His shot is off the mark. Nurkic with the board. The shots are not falling for either team in the last couple minutes. Booker driving into the lane, and I think there is a whistle. 6:29 to go in the first quarter, and Booker will have some free throws. Jackson says the Western Conference is definitely going to be crazy this season. I agree. I think both are going to be crazy. I would say more people are thinking the West has more good teams possibly that could compete versus the East, where maybe it's just like a couple teams like the Bucks or the Celtics, maybe the 76ers, if they can get everything squared away there. Miami could still be in the race. But the West, you've got Phoenix, you've got Golden State, you've got the Lakers, you've got the Denver Nuggets. There's a lot of good teams. It's going to be a lot of fun. And this is just opening night, so much can happen and change from now to then. Injuries can occur mid-season to key players, and maybe they're out for the year, and it's going to impact their playoff hunt. Kind of like with the Clippers last year when you didn't have Paul George or Kawhi Leonard. That just ended their chances. It gave the Clippers no chance of beating the Suns in that series. And obviously the Suns did not end up going all the way. But still, injuries do play a role. Miami had so many injuries as well, but Miami just kept persevering. They just had so much bench depth, and they were getting by with their fantastic three-point shooting. But it's going to be wild. I'm looking forward to the season. Like I said, just opening night. There's more games tomorrow. I'll probably be live streaming some games throughout the season. Don't know how often, but I appreciate you guys for being here so far. 6:29 to go in the first quarter. 17-12, Phoenix with the lead. Jeff says the Suns are looking decent so far. Yeah, especially because of the fact that you don't have Bradley Beal, who's thought to have played a key role in this game. And you've got Booker and Durant still. That's key. But Nurkic is doing a good job down low. I would say that's the biggest key to the start of this game, and probably throughout the game, is how well Nurkic can dominate the glass. Because we know Kevon Looney is an excellent rebounder. That's why he has a spot in the NBA. But despite the lack of shooting, and he struggles, to be effective outside of the paint, Kevon Looney is in the NBA because of his rebounding ability. He's almost like a modern day, rebounder from the past, the way that those guys rebounded. You talk about, Shaquille O'Neal. Yes, he was bigger than Kevon Looney, but he was able to get so many boards, and he dominated down low. Kevon Looney just roams the paint, and he searches for rebounds. He's like Dennis Rodman as well, even though Rodman was shorter. There's not like a perfect comparison for Kevon Looney, but he's like those players in the past. A lot of other examples. And even though in the modern NBA, a lot of teams want the center to be able to knock down the three, Kevon Looney has proven and shown that you don't have to do that to be in the league. If you're with a team, especially like the Warriors, that is designed to have shooters like Curry and Klay, and they had Jordan Poole, even though he's gone now. He got traded to the Wizards as part of that three-team trade. But to have all those shooters, it allows Kevon Looney to work. And that's why the Warriors drafted Trace Jackson-Davis this year in the draft out of Indiana, because he's not a shooter. And he's an undersized center. Still taller than Dennis Rodman, but he's a great rebounder, and he's good down low, but he just doesn't shoot the basketball. But it works because you have all those shooters. Now you've got more ball handlers with Chris Paul and Curry. So it's really interesting what's going on with the Warriors. They're just a unique team. It doesn't have, bigs that can shoot, but they make it work. Chris Paul, first regular season game with Warriors, first matchup against former team. That's crazy. Crazy stuff for Chris Paul. He's had a fantastic career. A lot of people want Chris Paul to get a ring. This is probably his last best chance to do it. We'll see if he can help the Warriors along with Curry and Klay and their other really good players on the team to see if they can get that job done this season. Booker's at the line. Remember, he was fouled before the timeout. He knocks down the first free throw. It's 18-12, 6:29 to go in the first, and his second free throw is good as well. Booker's a great free throw shooter. You do not want to foul him. You don't want to foul Kevin Durant either. So the Phoenix Suns always really good for them when they can go to the line because they've got so many guys that can make free throws. Curry kicks it inside to Looney, and Looney misses a layup. What a setup by Stephon Curry, but Looney just could not make the finish. Durant, though, from three on the other end, he's not able to knock down the shot. And you've got Klay Thompson with the board, kicking it to Kuminga. The Warriors down 7, going back the other way. Klay Thompson in the mid-range for 2. His shot is in and out, and Nurkic, again, dominating the boards, not allowing Looney to get the rebound. Give the Warriors more possessions. Booker on the other end, trying to shake off his defender. He cannot. Now you've got Nurkic at the top of the key, looking for someone to pass the ball to. Booker off a screen for 3, and Booker is on fire early in this game. What a screen by Nurkic. Nurkic is playing really well, doing all the little things, setting screens, getting rebounds, and Booker is delivering, cashing in on that jump shot. 5:20 to go in the first. Curry over to Wiggins at the top of the key with the Warriors down by 10 early in this game. Wiggins down inside the paint. He's not able to knock down his layup. A lot of missed layups for the Warriors, and those can come back to bite you if they keep adding up. Booker with the ball. He's in a zone early. Inside the mid-range for 2, and he knocks down another shot. 24-12. Under 5 to go in the first quarter. Still no timeout by the Warriors. They already used one, but a little shot, maybe they didn't use another one. They need a bucket badly in the worst way. Looney kicks to Klay Thompson. Back to Looney. Nurkic, though, almost with the steal. He does not end up with it, though. Klay down low to Looney, and Looney gets the shot to fall ever so slightly. It almost did not go in, but it drops. 24-14. Finally, the Warriors stop the Phoenix run. Booker with a heat check, and his three's off the mark. Maybe that one he should not have taken, but when you're making that many shots, don't blame you. Curry on the other end, and Curry, he can bring the Warriors back just like that with a big 3, cuts it to 7. And I think the Phoenix Suns, they want to talk this over. 4:20 to go in the first quarter. Frank Vogel's seen enough. He calls a timeout. It's probably a good timeout because you got more timeouts in the NBA than you do in college basketball. And when the Warriors start making a couple of shots and you're not playing as disciplined as you were a couple minutes ago, call a timeout and try to stop the run. That's probably a smart move by Frank Vogel. But definitely, the thing with Curry and Klay with the Warriors is that they could be down by 15 points, even up to like 5 minutes left in the game, and they can come back because all they got to do is just start draining threes. It doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes they're in a funk and they can't make shots, but other games, they just get hot in a hurry. They can bury you in one quarter with a ton of threes. So it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds in this game. But right now, the Phoenix Suns have looked better for the most part than the Warriors, especially because of Nurkic's ability in the paint to out-rebound Kevon Looney so far. And then Devin Booker's been making threes. And the Warriors, they've been a bit sloppy, missed a few layups. But again, last couple minutes, they've started to get back into a flow a bit. Now they're down by 7. Which in the NBA is not that much. Jackson says, I hope for their sake they could translate that to the postseason. Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's funny the way we are, when we talk about sports, is that we're already talking about the postseason. It's game one. There's over 80 games in the regular season left still. And then we're talking about the postseason. But I don't blame you, Jackson, because of the fact that it's very important. When you're looking at your team and you want to see what they're doing early on, can it translate to postseason success? Because you talk about a lot of teams in college football, college basketball. They can have great regular season success, but they get in the postseason, that's where they struggle. And you want to be able to see the NBA teams be able to do that as well. You want to be able to see them translate that success that they had in the regular season into the postseason. Because if they have a great regular season, they don't have a good postseason, it's not that you did it for nothing, but it kind of defeats the purpose of having such a great year. You put yourself in great position to make the playoffs and give yourself a good seed, and then you don't go far. Like last year with the Bucks. Granted, the Bucks had an injury to Giannis for a couple of games, and that really derailed, possibly them going further in the playoffs. But they lost to Miami. It was the 8th seed, and then it just cost, the Bucks season. They had a great year, and they didn't get anywhere. So it is what it is. You can't say that it was a wasted year, but it is unfortunate when you have a great season and you put yourself in great position to go far, and then you don't do anything with it. So definitely, to Jackson's point, if Phoenix does have a good season, which they have the roster, especially if Bradley Beal gets healthy and some of the other players, really step up and they have more of a bench this year, because that was the biggest problem for the Suns last year. When they made the Kevin Durant trade, the biggest thing for me was that I didn't feel that they had enough of a bench. I thought that their bench was weak, and I thought that they gave too much away for Kevin Durant. I know you have to trade a lot for Kevin Durant because he's a great player, but they gave so much of their bench away. Cam Johnson, they lost all those players. And that hurt because Mikal Bridges as well. Those guys were, along with the stars like Booker and like when they had Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton, they made them what they were. Kevin Durant is a great player, but losing those other guys, they just didn't give him enough to win. Now they've made the moves to get Grayson Allen. They've gotten Eric Gordon, Bradley Beal. If they can all chip in and really help out the Suns this year, maybe they can have a better year than they did this past season. But only time will tell. But now out of the timeout, you've got the Phoenix Suns with the basketball. Bringing up the floor, Eric Gordon coming off the bench. He's been inserted into the game. The 34-year-old veteran, former 6th man of the year in the NBA several seasons ago, has had a lot of success with the New Orleans Hornets back when they were the Hornets. Also had success with the Rockets and the Clippers. Really nice to see him out there on a winning team. Maybe he can help the Phoenix Suns advance far in the playoffs this year. But Jonathan Kuminga with a 2 for the Warriors, and we've got a 5-point game on our hands. This looked like the Phoenix Suns were going to possibly run away with this, but again, it's the NBA. The other team can come back super quickly. Gordon kicks down low, and it's a missed shot for the Suns, but there is a foul on Jonathan Kuminga. That's just a young player trying to stop a guy from scoring and getting a foul. Sometimes you just got to have your hand straight up. You can't go down. I know you want to block the ball, and Jonathan Kuminga, he has springs in his legs, but sometimes you just can't do that. And that's what cost them that play right there. You've got Gary Payton into the game for the Warriors as well. Gary Payton II, he's been a spark plug off the bench for the Warriors for several seasons. Jeff said, me too, Jackson. I hope so. It's definitely going to be interesting. Now you've got the Suns at the line hitting the first free throw. They got Eubanks as well in that trade. Eubanks is another guy that could help the Suns off the bench. You can just tell that the Suns look a little bit better all around. There's not as much Booker and Durant. They've got other guys that are really helping out the team. More guys can score, spread the ball around. Kuminga driving inside, using his athleticism, getting the Suns in the air. He misses the shot, and Booker with the board. Eric Gordon bringing it up the floor. Eric Gordon to the rim, and he gets blocked by Gary Payton II. What a play. Now you've got Curry doing his magic, getting by Eubanks to the rim, and Curry for 2. 25-21. 3:10 to go in the first quarter. Unbelievable by Curry. He's still got it at his age. And now I think there's a turnover by the Suns. Maybe Eubanks set an illegal screen. Let's see. They're showing the replay from Curry getting to the rim. Definitely worth the replay, but I think Eubanks set an illegal screen because there was really no other way that there could have been a turn of possession back to the Warriors, but I think that's what occurred. 3:07 to go in the first quarter. Curry getting a well-deserved breather after a really good start to the game for him. Chris Paul's back in the game. And I think that's another key because you have Curry leaving the game, and now you've got another true point guard that can come in with Chris Paul. So that really helps out the Warriors. You're going to have a true ball handler at all times on the floor. Dario Saric's into the game for the Warriors as well. He also used to be a player for the Suns. So much trades, so much movement happened in the offseason. And between these two teams, crazy. Booker kicking it to Eubanks, and there's another turnover. Warriors back the other way. Moses Moody to the rim, and he lays it in, and we've got a 2-point game. The tide has turned. 2:30 to go in the first quarter. Eric Gordon driving into the lane, kicks to Grayson Allen. Allen has nowhere to go, out to Eric Gordon for three, and Eric Gordon's shot is in and out, and we've got a rebound by Jonathan Kuminga. 2-point game, 2:20 to go in the first quarter. Driving inside, kicks outside to Dario Saric because Kuminga was double-teamed. Chris Paul off the dribble, in the mid-range, kicks to Gary Payton II for the lead, and his shot's off the mark. But Saric with the board, and his shot's off the mark. You got to make that if you're Dario Saric. Had a really good look down low, could not get it to drop, and there's a top. Both these teams are playing hard. You love to see it. First game of the NBA regular season for both teams, and you've already seen guys on the floor going after it, and there's tops. Both teams playing super hard. That's exactly what you want to see. Get this first win and build some momentum to possibly help your team when you get further and further in the season to be able to get a good seed in the playoffs. That's what you got to do. And this is a big game for both teams. Both teams are going to be contending in the West. So we'll see how it all shakes out. It's going to be a long season as always. The NBA is one of the longest seasons of any sport. So there's going to be definitely a lot of major storylines, a lot of injuries, a lot of big games before the season's done. Moses Moody, he gets the ball off the tip for the Warriors, and he misses the shot, but the Warriors get the offensive rebound, and I think the ball is out of bounds off of Golden State. It looks like it, but man, there's a lot of collision going on the floor. There was no foul called. You like to see the refs letting them play, but there was a lot of contact on that drive. 1:53 to go in the first quarter. Frank Vogel looking a little concerned for Phoenix. The head coach for the Suns. He can tell that the Warriors are starting to shift in this game, starting to play better basketball. You've got Grayson Allen at the top of the key. He takes a three, and it's not going to count because another illegal screen by the Suns. And possibly this could just be first game mistakes. These guys are veterans, so it's kind of hard to say, that they're, trying to learn the offense. Where I know some of these guys are new, like Eubanks. He wasn't on the Suns last year, but I think that's 2 illegal screens by him. That's not going to make Frank Vogel happy, and that's going to give Golden State the ball with another chance to take the lead. 1:44 to go in the first quarter. Moses Moody to inbound, kicks it to Chris Paul. He's bringing it up the floor. Phoenix, I don't think, has been playing terrible defense, but they have laxed up a bit last couple minutes. Paul with the ball. Kicks to Klay. Klay thought about firing, but he could not get the ball off. Moses Moody. Down to Sark to Chris Paul to Payton to Klay. Everybody touching the basketball. Klay in the paint, and his shot is just off the mark. He had it, but he couldn't get it to drop. And then Moses Moody for 3. Moses Moody cans the triple in the left corner, and the Warriors are in front. 26-25. Eric Gordon inside the paint with a little 2 that goes in. A little floater, gets it to drop, hits iron, but it went in. 27-26, first points for Eric Gordon as a Phoenix Sun. Dario Saric kicks over to Moses Moody, and almost a turnover. I think there's a foul on Phoenix. 27-26, game's going back and forth. I think the foul was called on Eric Gordon on that play. He tried to reach in, get the steal, but he was not able to come up with it, and the refs call an infraction against him. 27-26, 56.3 seconds to go in the first quarter. So you got Chris Paul at the top of the key. Over to Dario Saric. Dario Saric in the paint. He can't get the shot to fall. He tries to push off Eubanks. He misses again. And now you've got the Phoenix Suns going down the floor, but a turnover. Warriors have it back. Chris Paul to Moody down the floor, and Moody for 2, and the Warriors regain the lead. 28-27, 30 seconds to go in the first. What a play by the Golden State Warriors. Staying composed on the defensive side of the ball, getting the steal, getting the layup. And they got the lead back. But I think there's now a foul on the Warriors. Maybe that one's on Dario Saric. I think he might have fouled Eubanks. Yeah, definitely good one for the Phoenix Suns. Just got a little too careless with the ball there. Did not see that anyone was behind him. And the Warriors picked his pocket. Yeah, Eubanks is at the line, and his first free throw is long. He's a taller player, but you got to knock down your free throws. You just can't miss key free throws because they can come back to bite you at the end of games. They can cost you games because if the other team hits more free throws than you do and you miss more of yours, that sometimes can be the difference at the end of the game. Eubanks, we'll see if he can hit the second, and his second free throw is good. So we've got a tie game. It's 28-all, 26 seconds left. Both coaches looking a little concerned to start. Steve Kerr and Frank Vogel. Chris Paul up the floor. Curry's still resting. He's got Goodwin guarding him. Paul trying to milk the clock and make it where there's the best chance that the Warriors are going to have the last shot. Chris Paul trying to free himself. Kicks to Klay. Klay Thompson chucks up a three. That was a wild shot. Did not fall. Eric Gordon from half court, and his shot is a little bit off to the right, off the backboard, and that will be the end of the first quarter. Couldn't ask for a better first quarter. Competitive basketball. Both teams grinding it out, 28-28. Some pretty good defense on both ends. Some good offense on both ends. And we got to see a little showcase of the new players for both teams. A lot of the Phoenix Suns players now with the Warriors and vice versa. Really good first quarter action. Thank you for being here, Herb Kushner. He said, this is the greatest sports commentary in 21, hands down. Everyone like and subscribe. I really appreciate that, Herb. That means a lot. Just appreciate you being here. Love watching these games and doing reactions to them. They're a lot of fun. Can't wait to do more of them as the season goes along because there's going to be a lot more games. Don't know how often I will do them, but definitely appreciate your compliment. It means a lot. And thank you so much for the shout to like and subscribe. Definitely, if you are new, subscribe to the channel, like the stream down below, share the stream out on social media, but really do appreciate the compliment, Herb. Means a lot. Michael Williams, thanks for being here as well. Really appreciate it. We've got a good game. I mean, 28-28. Didn't really know what to expect from both of these teams. It's probably more impressive that the Suns are tied with the Warriors right now because you don't have Bradley Beal. I mean, he's a 20-plus points per game scorer that you brought over from the Wizards, who's out with a back injury right now. Probably not for long, but just for a short amount of time. And Bradley Beal will play a big role for the Phoenix Suns this season. He's going to play a massive role in helping them win games. And if Phoenix can win the game without him, that's going to be big. Granted, I'm not going to automatically say that makes the Warriors the best team in the NBA or anything like that. They won at the Warriors without him because obviously, it's the first game of the season and maybe the Warriors, weren't having their best game. Plus, Draymond Green's out for the Warriors. I can't say that exactly cancels out. I would say Bradley Beal is more important because of the scoring, but Draymond Green has so much of an impact in the games in other ways, like assists and rebounds and being a decoy for the stars that the Warriors have. So Draymond Green being out is really important, just like Bradley Beal being out for the Suns. So it kind of, in a way, can counterbalance each other. But right now, both teams are tied, can't get any separation. RC says it's too much sports. About to be going Only Talk Sports crazy. College football, MLB playoffs, women and men's college basketball coming, plus NBA is here. I agree, RC, and that's not even without including the NFL. Definitely, there's just so much going on. This right now, this time of year, this little section of the calendar is when there are more sports on than any other time that are like the headline sport. Grant, I know that, different times of year you've got golf and you've got tennis and stuff like that. But right now, you've got all of these sports. Baseball's still on. College football, basketball's coming up. NFL, NBA. It's insane. Definitely awesome to cover. So much sports to talk about. And definitely, we cover it here at Only Talk Sports. We try to cover all the major sports. As much news as we possibly can. Appreciate everyone for being here, though. And definitely, RC, this is the best time of year. definitely if you're a football and basketball fan, because all of it's on at the same time. And whether you're a pro sports fan or a college sports fan or both, because some people only like pro or college, some do like both, it is a great time of year for sure on the sports calendar. It's going to be awesome when college basketball comes back around the corner. So the second quarter is about to tip off. It's a tie game. Phoenix gets the ball first, start the quarter. You got Goodwin bringing the ball up. Booker getting a little bit of a rest. Goodwin in the paint. His shot's off the mark. And Gary Payton the second, he has the rebound, crashing the glass. Very underrated player for the Warriors. Definitely has had a solid career last couple years doing the small things. You got Chris Paul in the mid-range, kicks back to Gary Payton, and Gary Payton the second almost had a really good layup, couldn't get it to drop. The Suns almost end up with the basketball, but Goodwin loses it out of bounds. So it will be Golden State basketball. Chris Paul will be the inbounder. 11:29 to go in the second quarter. Chris Paul to inbound, looking for somebody, kicks it down low. What a play to Dario Saric, and that is a 2-point lead for the Warriors right there. 30-28, and that's your veteran Chris Paul making a great play. Kevin Durant with a crossover. He loses the basketball. Good defense by Klay Thompson, a guy sometimes not known for his defense. What a pass by Chris Paul to Klay, and man, if Klay could have cashed in on that three. Chris Paul is slinging it out there. Suns back the other way. Goodwin with the ball. Kicks over to Eubanks, top of the key. Looking for Eric Gordon down low. Eric Gordon kicks it back out to Goodwin. Goodwin to Kevin Durant. And there's a foul at the top of the key on the Warriors. RC says, is Chris Paul in a wheelchair yet? Chris Paul's still good. Definitely. That's a good one, RC. But Chris Paul still at his age playing really good basketball. Is he as explosive as he used to be? Is he as good of a shooter as he used to be? Probably not, but he's still a great passer, and he can score. Really good floor general for a basketball team, especially with a team like the Warriors that has so much talent for him to pass the ball to. Kevin Durant missing the jumper on the other and tried to go off glass. Did not work. That was a really tough shot. But if anybody can make it, it would be Kevin Durant. Just couldn't get it to fall. Chris Paul, he misses the layup. He takes a hard tumble to the floor, but it looks like he's okay. 10:30 to go in the second quarter. And it will be Warriors basketball. I think the Phoenix Suns deflected it out of bounds last, but that was a hard fall by Chris Paul. Curry still on the bench watching. Towel on his head. Chris Paul trying to get it in bounds. Dario Saric kicks inside to Chris Paul. Over to Moses Moody. He thought about it. Kicks to Gary Payton the second, and he can't hit the corner three. That's a sweet spot, though. And then another bad pass by the Phoenix Suns. Getting too cute with the ball. And Gary Payton just tried to level the rim. And he was not able to dunk it home. But he went up for it, you could tell, with ill intentions. And he just could not get it to fall. Chris Paul with some hand signals. 7 seconds on the shot clock. 10 to go in the second. Top of the key. Paul for three and hits off the mark. But he's fouled on the three-point shot. And for as well as Phoenix was playing early, they're starting to be undisciplined. Last few possessions, they've had a couple of turnovers that they really should not have had. Just throwing the ball off the floor when they shouldn't. And now they've got a bad foul on a three. But Gary Payton, though, trying to go up on Eubanks. And it looked like Eubanks fouled him. You could argue that should have been a foul. But they didn't call it. Chris Paul's led team in assists during the postseason, 5.8. RC said Gary Payton tried aggravated assault on that dunk attempt. For sure. I mean, I can't believe he just tried to dunk that. He probably would have scored if he had just pump fake laid it in. But he wanted to go all in for it, get that highlight reel dunk, put it on a poster. But it did not happen. Paul hits the first free throw. And that's another thing. You don't want to put Paul on the line. As I said earlier, I was praising Devin Booker and Kevin Durant for being really good free throw shooters. Well, the Warriors have good free throw shooters as well. You've got Chris Paul. You've got Curry. You've got Klay. You don't want to foul him. And they only gave 2 free throws, so it's 32-28. Foot must have been on the line. They probably need to get Booker back in the game soon. KD at the top of the key, driving in on Klay, and there is a foul on the floor. Kevin Durant, one of the best players in the NBA at drawing fouls off drives. He's really good at it, using his size and length to try to bully his way inside, and he's really good at drawing contact. KD to inbound. 9:40 to go in the second quarter. Eric Gordon, top of the key. Gary Payton the second on him. Goodwin with the ball. Trying to pump fake on Chris Paul. Goodwin driving in. Kicks to Eubanks. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Out to Eric Gordon. And Eric Gordon to the rim. Lays it in before the shot clock expires. What a play by Eric Gordon. Showing that he's still got some burst at the age of 34. What a play by Gordon. Chris Paul. Top of the key. Driving in, thought about the mid-range, kicks to Sark. Sark inside. Good defense from Eubanks. And Phoenix back the other way. Gordon for 3. His shot's off the mark. There might have been a heat check after the layup. Now Klay up the floor to Sark. The ball almost out of bounds, but somehow Moses Moody saves it, but it's not enough because it goes to KD. KD over to Watanabe. He shoots the 3. His shot's off the mark. And Klay Thompson, he's got the board, but we're going back up and down the floor again. This is always fun to watch in the NBA. Paul inside to Sark. Back to Paul. Paul trying to make a crossover on Eubanks. Step back 2. His shot's just off the rim. Had a good look at it. Just couldn't get it to fall. Now you've got Goodwin down the floor for Phoenix. 2-point deficit for the Suns. 8:20 to go in the second quarter. Kevin Durant top of the key. Sark on him. KD in the mid-range. His shot's off the mark. And you've got Gary Payton the second with the board. Doing the small things like usual. Paul to Payton. Over in the corner to Moody. His 3 is good, and the Warriors lead by 5. 35-30. Suns now down by 5 after a little bit of some sloppy play. They need Booker back in, trying to give him some rest, but you can tell that the Suns are better when he's on the floor, and they're missing Bradley Beal. And in the lane, Goodwin misses the shot. Klay Thompson up the floor to Chris Paul. 7:50 to go in the second. Paul for 3, and Paul shots off the mark. Chris Paul definitely shot happy in this game, taking a bunch of jumpers. He's hit a couple, but he can't make those. And the Suns, they burn a timeout. Frank Vogel wanting to talk things over, probably get Devin Booker back in the game after the timeout. That was one of the biggest issues for the Phoenix Suns in last year's playoff, was that they could not score when Devin Booker or Kevin Durant was on the bench. If one or the other was on the bench, then the opposing defenses would key in on the other. So if Booker was on the bench, they keyed in on KD. If KD was on the bench, then they keyed in on Devin Booker. And it became difficult for them to score because they were essentially having 5 guys paying attention to one guy. It's not that the other players were incapable. Some of the Phoenix other players could score, but it wasn't on a consistent basis. They weren't a constant threat that the other teams really had to worry about them. Now, when you supposedly are going to have Bradley Beal coming up soon, that's going to help out when Booker goes to the bench, because you're not going to have Bradley Beal and Devin Booker on the bench. You can just see right now without Bradley Beal that there's something missing when Devin Booker goes to the bench. Kevin Durant is a great player, and he was still doing good things out there, but it's just not enough. Eric Gordon is solid. Eric Gordon helps. Grayson Allen helps, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They do need Bradley Beal. When he returns, that's going to help. When Devin Booker goes to the bench, and he has to go to the bench, he could probably play 48 minutes. It's not like Devin Booker, is incapable of playing the majority of the game, but you don't want him playing the whole game, especially when you're playing a long season. You want him to get some time on the bench, some rest, and allow other players. And the starting 5 is important. It's very important. If your starting 5 is horrible, you're probably not going to be a good basketball team. But if you have a bench that's comparable to the other team or better than the other team, that's great. And it helps you win games because more guys are getting in on the action. More guys are helping contribute. And it helps you in the long run. I would argue that, having a bench that is better than the other team's bench and having a starting 5 that's comparable to the other team's starting 5 is more important than the other way around. Having a starting 5 that's better than the other team's starting 5, but your bench is kind of comparable or worse than the other team. You really want to have a good bench. You want your starting 5 to be really good, but you have to have quality bench depth, because when injuries occur to some of your starting players, or they get fatigued, or there's foul trouble, if you don't have a good bench, then you are going to lose in the long run. You're just not going to be able to hang with another team that's got a better bench. It's a crazy dynamic. And it definitely all comes down to team priority. And sometimes it's about team roster construction. When Phoenix got Kevin Durant, they didn't prioritize the bench. They gave away their bench to get him. Well, now they realize we need a better bench. We got a really good starting five. It's one of the better ones in the NBA probably. But we needed a good bench to help compete and help us win in these big playoff games and these top teams in the NBA. So we'll see how it pays off with the moves that they made. 35-30 out of the timeout by the Phoenix Suns. Warriors lead, 7:39 to go in the second quarter. Draymond Green on the bench. He's smiling. He's happy that his Warriors are up. And Devin Booker back into the game like I thought out of the timeout. Booker kicks to KD. KD for two in the mid-range, and there you go. Booker's back in the game, takes some attention off the other players, and KD drills the shot, and it's a three-point game. 7:20 to go in the quarter. Looney kicks down low, and he can't get it anywhere. It's kicked off the foot, so it will still be Warriors basketball. He tried to get it to Wiggins, but it was knocked off a Phoenix Suns player's foot, and that will always be a kick ball. Sometimes that can help when a possession's kind of busted. I wouldn't say that was a terrible possession. It had a good play design, just did not go to its intended target. You've got Curry chunking up a three, which is never a bad idea. He normally can knock it down, but he could not make that shot. But they get the offensive rebound. Wiggins misses as well, and Goodwin with the board. Phoenix back the other way with Tomby for three, and he drains the triple. Again, the bench coming through for the Suns a little bit there. 35-35, tie game. It's been a lot of ties so far. Both teams playing hard. Curry off the dribble with a mid-range two. His shot is just off the mark. Looked like he had it, but I think it was a bit shy. Just a little bit short on the front rim. 6:30 to go in the quarter. Booker kicks down low. And now you've got KD, and KD is fouled on the drive. That's a good play by Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's an older player as well, but he shows you he's still got the speed. He can still get to the rim. That's a really good play, and he is a great free throw shooter. He'll have a couple of free throws right here. Nurkic is back into the game as well for the Phoenix Suns. He set a pretty good screen on that play that made it happen. Durant to the line. First free throw is off the mark. That's a rarity for Kevin Durant. He does not miss too many free throws, but he missed that one right there. We'll see if he can knock down the second one. That usually is a rare sight to behold, watching Kevin Durant miss a free throw. His second free throw is up. It's set and up and in. He knocks it down. 36-35. It's very rare to see Kevin Durant miss two, let alone one. One is rare enough, but when he misses two, that's wild. But he does not miss two there. He knocks down the second. But Phoenix has missed a couple of free throws. Again, something to monitor as the game goes on. Warriors with the ball. Corey Joseph, he has it. Another bench player that the Warriors have acquired, and he kicks to Curry, and Curry with the layup. Beautiful play by the Warriors. They're one of the best teams in the NBA. They run some of the best sets with off-the-ball action. Fantastic play. Booker driving into the lane, up and in. What a play. Taking contact from Kevon Looney, and the Suns are back in front. 38-37. 5:50 to go in the second quarter. Curry with the ball. He's dancing around, trying to find an open guy. Kicks it in the corner to Moses Moody. There's a lot of contact, and there's a foul call. Moses Moody took punishment on that play. Jackson says, I hope Draymond is doing okay, but I will say he's got potential to be in the next Charles Barkley once he retires from the NBA. That's a good one, Jackson. Definitely, I see what you mean right there. But Moses Moody, last season averaged 4.8 points per game, 1.7 rebounds. He was a solid bench player for the Warriors, and he had his moments where he really chipped in some big games. He's looking to improve this season on that points per game average, and he took punishment on that drive. But he got rewarded with a trip to the line, and his first free throw is off the mark. So we've seen some missed free throws from both teams. I think the Suns have missed more free throws than the Warriors, but the Warriors have missed a couple of their own. They're interviewing Draymond Green right now on the sideline. Definitely Draymond hoping he can get back in the game, help out his team. He's a really solid player, even though he doesn't really average that many points. He's been an all-star before. averaging under 10 points because of what he does in the other parts of the game with the assists and the rebounds. But you have another free throw made. Moses Moody knocks down the second, and we got a tie game again. 38-38. Eric Gordon kicks to Nurkic down low, and there's a turnover. Moses Moody saves it from going out of bounds. Kevon Looney, he has the ball back to Moses Moody. That was good defense from the Warriors. They really blew up that play. Looney, he is keeping the ball, driving into the lane. It was not very graceful, but he almost got it to fall over Nurkic. While seeing Looney take the ball from the top of the key, just couldn't get it to drop. Booker outside to Nurkic, and Nurkic knocks down the three. Big shot right there from the Phoenix Suns, and they're back in front after the Warriors led by 5 a couple of minutes ago. Corey Joseph with the ball. Kicks to Curry. He thought about the three. He does take the three, and he's short on the play. Booker with the board. Back up the 4. The Phoenix Suns just operate offense so much better when Booker is out there. Down low, you've got a 2 made by Josh Okogie. The Suns lead by 5, and the Warriors take a timeout. So when the Warriors led by 5, Phoenix called timeout. And now that Phoenix leads by 5, the Warriors called timeout. So it's smart coaching. You just don't want to get behind by too much. If you get behind by a few points, take a timeout. You got tons of them in the NBA. You might as well use them. I think both teams have been playing fairly good basketball. Definitely there was a stretch where Phoenix was really sloppy. Did not like that stretch from them. But other than that, they've played pretty well. Golden State has been more consistent in the game. Last couple minutes, not as well. They just got to tighten up on defense. And with Curry, I mean, you can't say maybe he's taking a couple bad shots, but it's Curry. He can knock those shots down. And once he gets them falling, potentially later in this game, that will definitely help out the Warriors in the long run. Sometimes the more shots Curry takes, eventually he's going to make them. He can miss 5 or 6 in a row, but then he can torch you for 3 or 4 triples in a row, and that can just get the Warriors right back in front. But I do feel like Phoenix, I like their bench. I like the improved bench play, which I think will help them as the season goes along. I really do. Players like Eric Gordon. Nurkic is a good addition. He's really helping them out down low. I mean, it would be interesting to see how DeAndre Ayton would be doing in this game. Would he be able to rebound with Kevon Looney? Because that's the key when you play the Warriors. You got to shut down Looney's ability on the glass. You just cannot let him dominate and have 15 or 20 rebounds. Because there were several games last year in the NBA playoffs when I was doing the live streams for him. He had like 18 rebounds. And it's like he was just out hustling the other team's center. So it'd be interesting. We'll never know how Ayton would do. Obviously, we're going to see Ayton against Looney later in the year. But I do think Nurkic is doing a good job on the glass. Now, will that continue for the rest of the game? Who knows? But I do think that so far he's won the rebounding battle. And that's part of the reason Phoenix is up. And the worst stretch of the game was when Devin Booker was on the bench. And in future games, they're going to have Bradley Beal in when Booker's on the bench. So that's going to help make the Suns more dynamic. I do like the dynamic that the Warriors have with Chris Paul. And then you have Curry. So when Curry goes to the bench, then Chris Paul is able to come in and do the point guard duties. And then vice versa. So that's a good thing for them. So I think both teams did a good job in the offseason. The trade helped out both teams. And then when you had the Damian Lillard trade, which just happened not too long ago, made a video on it. That was crazy as well to see Grayson Allen end up going to the Suns, a part of that trade. So definitely the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors were looking to improve in the offseason. And I think that both teams did a pretty good job. Obviously, no team's probably perfect. It's very hard to build a perfect roster. But I think that the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors rosters are looking pretty good. 4:40 to go in the second. And the Suns lead by 5. Will and D, hey guys, the Diamondbacks are about to upset the Phillies. That's crazy as well. Again, like RC said earlier, so many sports going on at the same time. Thanks for the update, Will, and appreciate you for stopping by. 4:30 to go in the second. You've got the Warriors with the ball down by 5, trying to make something happen. Curry off the dribble, and his shot's off the mark, and Nurkic again out-rebounding Kevon Looney. He's bringing the ball up the floor. Eric Gordon, top of the key, kicks to Nurkic. Down low to Devin Booker on the block. He's had a couple of shots off the block early in the game, and he drives in, and he lays it in. 45-38. Will says, I have Kevon Looney on my fantasy basketball team. Hope he does well. He's struggling a little bit so far on the glass. He's letting Nurkic out-rebound him, but I still think he's had his moments. He's still playing fairly well, but just not as well as he did in the playoffs last year. But it is only one game. Maybe he can get it going. That's interesting for sure, Will. Hopefully he does do well for you. But there's a turnover there by Golden State. Phoenix has the basketball. Up 7. After they were down by 5 about 4 minutes ago. So they've really turned it around. Gordon for 3. His shot's off the mark. And Nurkic yet again out-rebounds Kevon Looney. And he lays it in. 47-38. The Suns lead by 9. 3:30 to go in the second quarter. If the Suns do win this game, it's very premature to say that. But if they do win, big reason is because of Nurkic is rebounding. Chris Paul kicks over in the corner. Trying to find Klay. He does. Klay kicks over to Curry again. They have a great connection. His shot's off the mark. Finally, Looney gets the best of Nurkic. Gets the board. Klay Thompson for 3. And his shot is way off the mark. Looney with another rebound. Now Looney's starting to get it together. Another offensive rebound by the Warriors. This time it's Andrew Wiggins. The Warriors can't buy a bucket, but they keep getting more opportunities. Allen almost gets the turnover. Grayson Allen was guarding Andrew Wiggins, but the ball did go off of Phoenix. So it will remain Golden State Warriors basketball. Klay Thompson only with 2 points and 2 assists. 1 of 8 from the field. But all it takes is one make for the Splash Brother to get going. Still lots of time left in this game. 2:57 to go in the quarter. Chris Paul kicks to Klay, and Klay's shot is good. 47-40, just like that. Klay with a make. He's got 4 points. Suns still lead by 7. 2:40 to go in the second quarter. Devin Booker with the basketball, through the leg dribble, driving into the lane, over Saric, and his shot's good, taking some contact, and that's what makes Devin Booker so special. He's good shooting the basketball, but he can also drive and take contact. Chris Paul to Wiggins on the block. Wiggins is trying to make a move, turnaround jumper over Booker. His shot's in and out. That was a good play by Wiggins, just couldn't get it to fall, and there's Nurkic yet again on the glass. Out-rebounding Kevon Looney. KD driving in. On Chris Paul yet again. Turnaround. His shot is off the mark. Almost got it to drop, but he could not get it to go. Chris Paul with the ball, but I think they might be calling a foul on the Warriors. Chris Paul looks upset. Curry's upset as well. So that's what it appears to be. We'll see what happened. On the rebound attempt, KD misses the shot. I don't know. I think they're saying that Curry might have backed into Okogie, but it kind of like Josh Okogie was on his back. Could have been over the back. Steve Kerr don't like it. Warriors fans don't like it, but an inbounds play, and Josh Okogie and 1. He lays it in. Curry gets the fouls. That's 2 quick fouls in a row by Curry, and he's furious. Definitely debatable foul, especially the first one. First one, you could have called Okogie with it over and back. Second one, I think that Curry did foul. And a really good play to get the ball with a backdoor cut to Josh Okogie, who's another one of those bench players. He actually is a returner from last season for the Suns. Looking to improve the season on his points per game average, and he barely knocks down the free throw, but he gets it to go. 52-40, Suns lead by 12. 2 to go in the quarter. Chris Paul to Sark, back to Paul in the lane. Sark for 3, and he knocks it down. Nurkic hit a big 3 earlier for the Suns, and now Sark returns the favor. He gets the 3 to fall. 52-43, 9-point game. Eric Gordon driving into the lane, has nowhere to go. Still trying to make a crossover. Can't get an opening. Still looking for the paint. He drives in. His shot's a little short. Josh Okogie almost had a good tip. Couldn't get it to fall. Klay to Paul, 1:30 to go in the quarter. The first half is almost done. Chris Paul top of the key. Kicks to Klay, and Klay Thompson with a deep 3. Nothing but net. Like I said, one shot for Klay, can get them going again. 52-46, 6-point game. The Warriors fans are starting to get back into the game. Booker to Nurkic for three. Nurkic's shot is off the mark, but KD with the board and KD with the layup. What an acrobatic play by Kevin Durant. 55 seconds left. Wiggins down the floor, and he misses a layup. That's something the Warriors have done in this game. Missed a few easy ones. Booker in the lane to Gordon, and Gordon's shots off the mark. Okogie with the board and one. Josh Okogie, right where you want a player to be, on the glass, getting that rebound and laying it in. The Suns are just out-rebounding the Warriors in this game, and that's why they have a 10-point lead. That's a really good play by Josh Okogie. 44 seconds left in the second quarter. Josh Okogie last season averaged 7 points, 4 boards, and a 1.5 assists. He played solid. He was a pretty good bench player for the Suns, and he's looking to improve this season. He's having a good game so far. Playing really aggressive, doing the dirty work. And he knocks down the free throw. So it's 57-46. 40 seconds to go in the second quarter. Paul with the basketball, trying to find an open man. There's no one there, so he takes it himself. In the lane, his layup is off the mark, and Booker has the board. Man, Phoenix is doing a good job on the glass. Booker up the floor. He's got Klay Thompson on. Under 20 seconds to go. Booker trying to dribble it out. Get a good shot in late in the shot clock to really burn the clock. Booker with a screen from Okogie. Can't break free. Kicks to Kevin Durant. Durant for three. And his shot is good and one. Kevin Durant heavily guarded at the top of the key. He knocks it down, and he's fouled. What a mistake by Golden State. And the Suns have a chance to go up by 15 if Kevin Durant can make the free throw. That's insane, especially after Phoenix was down by 5 earlier in the game. Andrew Wiggins just was a little bit too close to him, and he drew the foul. And Durant knocks down the free throw. 61-46, 5 seconds left. Curry going up the floor. Curry with a mid-half-court three. Mid-court shot is no good. 61-46, and that is the end of the first half. Booker with 21 points. 8 of 10 from the field. 2 of 3 from 3. Curry with 10. He's 4 of 10 from the field. 2 of 6 from 3. So definitely Devin Booker outperforming Curry to start. And the Warriors were playing pretty well in this game up to a certain point in that second quarter. And things started to shift. After that last timeout by Phoenix, when they were down by 5, it was 35-30. After that point, the Phoenix Suns have outscored Golden State 31-11. It was 35-30. Now it's 61-46. So a big run by Phoenix. Booker, Durant playing good basketball, and they were getting enough contributions from their complementary players. Nurkic did a good job on the glass. Eric Gordon had a couple nice shots. Josh Okogie late in that second quarter, making some big shots. So a really good end of the first half from Phoenix Suns. They'll have to keep it up, though, if they want to win, because in the NBA, especially with the Warriors, they can come back in a hurry. Jackson says, a Diamondbacks Rangers World Series sweet, although I wish the Braves didn't mess up in the postseason again. Yeah, Atlanta fell short. They had a good team, too, but they fell short. It's going to be crazy to watch the World Series. Have some new teams in there. Definitely going to be fun. And Jackson says, let's get Only Talk Sports to 2,000 subs. Really appreciate that, Jackson. Appreciate every single one of you guys for being here. Means the world. You guys are awesome, and I really appreciate that, Jackson. 2,000 subs is a fantastic goal. Definitely going to be making more sports content in the future, going live for some more NBA games, maybe even some college basketball, possibly college football in the works. Not for sure, but definitely a possibility. Making more videos, predictions for college football and NFL. But again, thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Like the stream down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. But the first half between the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors, it started out fairly evenly. Both teams played good basketball. There was some sloppiness, possibly some first game jitters. But eventually, in that second quarter, Phoenix got it together. And that's why they have the 15-point lead that they do right now, 61-46. And I feel like Golden State, the key for them in the second half, like it almost is every single game that they're down, they just got to get Klay Thompson and Curry going. Klay Thompson did a couple big shots late in the second quarter. Maybe that will get him going. But he only has 7 points, and Curry only has 10. And Draymond Green being out might be more important than people think because he does play a big role in the success of the Warriors. His position, what he plays, the style of play that he plays in Steve Kerr's offense is unique to basically almost any other team in the NBA. He's an undersized forward that rebounds hard, that passes well. He doesn't shoot the ball necessarily well, but he does enough to keep teams honest. He doesn't score that many points in most games. Sometimes he'll have 7 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. But those 10 rebounds and 10 assists go a long way in helping the Warriors win. And they're missing that right now. And they really needed Looney to step up. Kevon Looney has to be able to rebound the ball at a high level. In the playoffs last year, he helped the Warriors win so many games because of how well he was rebounding the basketball. But in this game, Yusuf Nurkic, the addition that Phoenix has added in this offseason at center, he's doing a great job on the glass. And he is shutting down Looney on the boards for the most part. But like I said, for the Warriors, even without Draymond Green, if you can get Klay and Curry going, maybe Chris Paul can be more efficient. Because Chris Paul, he passed the ball well at times in that first half. He had some good passes, but I feel like, especially late in the first half, he started to take some bad shots. He started to take a few jumpers that he probably shouldn't have taken, and that kind of hurt the Warriors in the long run because when your point guard is not making the shots. That's why with the Warriors with Curry, it's like it's make or break. It's hit or miss. When he's on, that's how good the Warriors can be because then you have to pay attention to him, and then he can start to pass to his teammates. And it's kind of the way it was with Paul as well. Paul was struggling to shoot the ball, so then they were kind of leaving him open. Phoenix was giving him the shots. Not saying that they were exactly giving him the shots, but they kind of sagged a bit. He took the jumper. He didn't make the shot, and it makes it harder to pass. Because if they have to guard you real close, that's when you can pass. That's when you can be a true point guard and get the ball to your teammates. So the Warriors, they just have to be more efficient in the second half. And they got to rebound better. They have to rebound better. That's a must if they want to win this game. Yusuf Nurkic cannot be dominating Kevon Looney on the glass. And they have to defend a little bit better. I mean, yes, Devin Booker, there was a couple of shots that Devin Booker hit that most other players in the NBA probably wouldn't. But that's just how good Booker is. So you have to be able to guard well. Really well. Especially same thing with KD. Because there were several plays where I do feel like the Warriors did almost everything they could on defense, but they still made the shots. But see, you got to counter that. As the Warriors, you've got a bunch of shooters as well. Guys that can make ridiculous shots, even with great defense. So we'll see if they can respond. It should be a good second half. I'm looking forward to it. But right now, Phoenix, with that 15-point advantage, got the TNT crew talking about it at the half. They're probably really impressed with Phoenix, like I am. Because with no Bradley Beal, Phoenix, probably most people wouldn't expect them to be up by 15 right now. So it's crazy. Bradley Beal's going to have a big role in this offense because he scores a lot of points. Bradley Beal's like a forgotten player because he's been on a team that hasn't won at the Washington Wizards. He's like an even more forgotten player than Damian Lillard. Obviously, Damian Lillard was just so good with the amount of threes he hit, and obviously had those couple of years where, you know, the one game that he waved goodbye at the Thunder in the playoffs, and he had C.J. McCollum next to him for so long. But for the most part, the Trailblazers weren't very good. And that's what hurt, you know, with Lillard, you know, being known about in the league. And with Bradley Beal, it's even more so because Bradley Beal never, I guess you would say, has reached the heights that Lillard has by far. But he was on the Wizards. They never won. And he's just kind of like a forgotten player. Now that he's with Phoenix, And if he plays well and he averages 20, 25 points a game, somewhere in that range, and he's really helping out Booker and Durant, and he can lead Phoenix to a title or even just far in the playoffs, that would really, open people's eyes up to Bradley Beal. But with him out with a back injury and Phoenix still up by 15 against the first half, it's not the end of the game, but still very impressed about the Suns nonetheless. Jackson says, if you love hearing hot takes from Only Talk Sports, got the link, like, comment, sub to Only Talk Sports. Really appreciate that, Jackson. Really appreciate you for being here as well. It's going to be a great second half. We got a lot to look forward to this season. The NBA season is back. This is just opening night in the NBA. You had the Lakers and the Nuggets. That was a good game. Off the bat, Jokic with a triple-double. Already having a triple-double, playing just as well as he did last season. The Nuggets won the whole thing. They won the title, their first title. And now they're playing really well again. Murray's playing well. Jokic is fantastic, and they've got some complimentary players. Well, they lost a couple guys. They couldn't pay them all, but they still got a really good team. And they were able to knock off the Lakers. Granted, it was at home, so it's not indicative that the Lakers aren't a good team. LeBron and Anthony Davis, they played pretty well, but it wasn't enough. They fell short. But it was a good game and a really good way to showcase the NBA returning with these two really good games between four teams that are probably all going to have great seasons. Charles Barkley thinks the Warriors are cooked after one half of a game. That's what somebody tweeted. That's funny. I mean, definitely the Warriors, this is a long season. And for all we know, it could be an hour and a half later and the Warriors have won this game. Doesn't mean they will. Phoenix could win too, but you just never know in the NBA. I mean, unless a team's up by like 40 at half, it's very hard to think that the other team's done, especially if they are the Warriors or another team that can just come back on you. And I remember in the playoffs last year, you had that one game with the Grizzlies where they were down 40 in the playoffs and they didn't come back. I think they cut it to like 12 at one point. Ja Morant played it incredibly in the second half. But, I mean, they were down by 40 in the first half. And they couldn't come back. They got close. But that's just the way the NBA rolls. So much offense and quick scoring because you only have a 24-second shot clock. And a lot of times, players shoot the ball with 10, 11 seconds left. So it goes back and forth. You can have like 4 possessions in a minute. So we'll see. Definitely something to monitor early in the second half is how the Warriors respond, how they come out in the second half. If they allow Phoenix to get up by around 20 to 22, that's going to become really difficult. Still wouldn't say the Warriors are done, but you can't do that. You cannot let the Phoenix Suns get on an early 7-0 run, have Steve Kerr call a timeout, and the fans are really out of the game. You got to go out swinging. You got to have Klay Thompson and Stephon Curry knock down a couple threes, get your team back on track, have the Suns call timeout, get it within single digits, and then you have a ball game again. So definitely always important how you start the half. The Warriors ended the first half poorly. You got to start the second half well. We'll definitely see in a few minutes as the second half will be starting fairly shortly. But Devin Booker had a great first half. That's undeniable. 21 points is impressive enough, but it's the type of shots he hit. That one turnaround jumper he had on the right baseline that he shot over a taller player, that was insane. That's just a difficult shot that most guys would not hit. But Devin Booker has truly established himself as one of the best shooting guards in the NBA. He's a fantastic player. And even though Kevin Durant, he's getting older, he's still really good. It's a good 1-2 punch to have. And I'm sure some Phoenix Suns fans are upset to not have Chris Paul anymore. Because he's a really good point guard. He's just really, he's getting up there in age. He's not as good as he used to be, but he's still really good. And now Phoenix, you don't have DeAndre Ayton anymore either, but you got Yusuf Nurkic, who's so far so good, playing well. Bradley Beal, we'll see how he does. Eric Gordon, they've acquired him. So they've got some new talent, and Grayson Allen as well. For the Warriors, you've got Chris Paul now to complement Curry. Klay can still really light it up from 3. And Draymond Green, he's out right now. But he'll be back, and he's a very useful part of the offense. Kevon Looney, though, has to rebound better, but when he's rebounding like one of the best players in the NBA, that really helps out the Warriors offense, because that's how you can get more possession for your star players. That's how you get more threes for Curry and Klay, by having Looney crash the glass. I feel like with a lot of teams, and sometimes they just don't, focus on the rebound. They don't focus on the small things, making those crisp passes. Like I watched like the Clippers last year, and they were a really good team. When Paul George and Kawhi Leonard were healthy, they were winning games in the regular season, but sometimes there was so much isolation ball where you would have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard get the ball and then just have them take a jumper. Like go off the dribble and just take like a mid-range jumper. And it worked a lot of the time because they're that good at those shots. But you need passing. Early on with the Celtics, when Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were younger and they weren't as good at passing, it was just a lot of ISO ball. They would just have Tatum, top of the key, crossover dribble, take a jumper. Same with Jaylen Brown. It's like now you see those teams, especially the Celtics. The Clippers, we're going to have to see more from them. But the Celtics are passing the ball so much better now. The Warriors, that's always been a part of their fabric as a team. They've always been a fantastic passing team. Curry and Klay setting each other up. Draymond Green always doing good passing as well. That's key to a team's success. You look at Jokic. He's 6'11", 6'10", 6'11", close to 7 foot, and he's one of the best passers in the NBA, constantly putting up double-digit assists. And that helps. That is so dynamic for a team when you've got a guy like that can pass the ball. It helps you out tremendously. Because Jamal Murray can pass too, but how many times does Jamal Murray get set up by Jokic? It's incredible. You have to be a good passing team, and you have to be a good rebounding team. You just can't allow the other team to out-rebound you by a significant amount, because if you do, you're just not going to be in good shape to win. You have to be able to out-rebound the other team, or at least be about even with them. Because if you don't, you're just not going to have a great shot to win. Like right now, the box score is the Phoenix Suns have out-rebounded the Warriors 33-24. That is a non-rebound advantage. That's a lot. That's very significant. And that's part of the reason Phoenix is winning the game. Usually the Warriors are doing better rebounding because Looney and Draymond Green are crashing the glass. Just not tonight. The Suns have done a great job on the glass. Assists are about even. Suns have 12, Warriors have 10. Warriors do lead in steals and blocks. Suns have more turnovers. But that rebounding margin has to change. Definitely. And the Warriors are shooting worse at the line than the Suns. That's key. And from three. So we'll have to see in the second half if they can get those 3-point margins, which normally they do with Klay and Curry. Shoot the ball better from three. And the free throw line. They're going to need it, especially being down by 15. But definitely got to crash the glass better. I'm sure Steve Kerr's talking about that in the locker room. But Frank Vogel, he looked concerned early in this game with the way the Suns were playing. I mean, he probably knew it was going to be tough without Bradley Beal, but he looked a little bit happier toward the end of that first half, and with good reason. Suns are up 15, crashing the boards, making shots. Stars are showing out with Booker and Durant. Some pretty good basketball action by Phoenix. But the second half will be starting soon. First half is about done, or the end of the halftime. First half is over. Halftime is about over with. Suns lead by 15. It was a good first half, too. I do feel like that it would have been better if the game had been more competitive into the half. I feel like with the Warriors, slacking off at the end of that first half, it kind of changed the dynamic of the game. The crowd kind of got out of it a little bit. But still, the Warriors are one of the best teams to have being down because they can always come back. So we'll definitely have to see what happens. 61-46. First half's done. Halftime is about over. Players are getting back out there on the floor. Booker's running back out there. He looks very happy and ecstatic to be up by 15 on the road in the first game. That matters and counts in the NBA. They're showing Bradley Beal on the sideline. looking like you can tell he wants to be out there on the floor, but he will be soon. Devin Booker with the ball, and the second half is underway. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Really appreciate it. We're going to have a good second half if the Warriors especially can come back. Durant misses the first shot of the second half. Grayson Allen, though, crashing the boards. And again, the Suns are doing such a good job rebounding. So it will be Phoenix basketball. The Warriors do tip it out of bounds. And the Diamondbacks do win 4-2 over the Phillies. That's big there. Grayson Allen for three. His shot is off the mark. Josh Okogie almost gets the rebound. Nurkic almost up, but the Warriors finally end up with the ball. Chris Paul in the scrum. He gets the basketball. Top of the key. 11:30 to go in the third quarter. Chris Paul trying to make a move. Kicks to Kevon Looney. Nurkic on over to Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson in the lane, and Klay Thompson for two. 61-48. 11:10 to go in the third. That's a really good play by Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson can shoot, but he can also drive as well. Get to the rim. Nurkic down low to KD. KD drawing contact on Klay Thompson. Kevin Durant, one of the best players in the NBA at drawing fouls. He's just really good at it. He's lanky. He's tall. And he's such a good shooter that players guard him so hard. But that was a really good play by Klay Thompson. Driving in the lane over Josh Okogie off glass, getting the first points of the second half. Warriors cut it to 13. 11:04 to go in the third. But now Kevin Durant is at the stripe for two free throws. He's a really good free throw shooter, one of the best in the NBA. So we'll see if he can knock these down. The Suns have been shooting a bit better at the line than the Warriors, and that will not continue here. Kevin Durant misses a second free throw. That's wild. And it looks like, unfortunately, Durant accidentally knocked Klay Thompson in the knee. Klay Thompson is a little bit banged up, so hopefully he is okay. You don't want any injuries this early in the season. It's game one. Kevin Durant's second free throw is good. So it's 62-48. Durant has missed two free throws in this game. Very shocking to see there, but he does make up for it with that second made free throw. 14-point lead for Phoenix. 10:50 to go in the third. Inside to Wiggins. He misses the layup. And now I think there might be a foul on the Warriors possibly. Nurkic is on the ground holding his shoulder. Hopefully that's not a bad sign for Phoenix. Like I said, it's game one. You don't want any early injuries. Don't want injuries ever, but not after game one. It looked like Wiggins kind of caught Nurkic on the shoulder there. He's in a bit of pain. Looks like an offensive foul. He's definitely holding his shoulder. No, they're actually calling a foul on Nurkic. So no offensive foul. It looked like an offensive foul to me, but Wiggins is actually at the stripe for the Warriors, and his first free throw's off the mark. So both teams are not doing a good job at the line in this game. Could come down to which team misses more free throws. I think that's been the biggest stat so far in this game. Warriors have been shooting worse from three and at the line, and they've been doing worse rebounding the ball than Phoenix. Wiggins is waiting for his second free throw. 10:53 to go in the third. Phoenix leads by 14. Steve Kerr looks a little concerned. There might be someone on the sideline for the Phoenix Suns that might be needing attention. The game has been paused. Durant is talking to Kerr right now. I think somebody on the Phoenix Suns sideline is needing attention. Possibly they might have to get some medical attention. Hopefully they're okay. But the game has been paused. Not much has happened to start the third. You've had a couple of points scored. Phoenix hit a free throw. Warriors hit a layup. It might be an assistant coach for the Phoenix Suns. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if someone was run into. Actually, it might have been a fan. I'm really trying to figure out what's going on, but it might have been a fan that actually needed medical attention. With someone on the sideline, they're walking. person off the floor, so hopefully that they're okay. Prayers for their health as they're walking them off the court. 10:53 to go in the third. 62-48. Wiggins still has that free throw. So Wiggins will be at the line. If he can hit this free throw, we'll cut it to 13. The Warriors definitely need all the points they can get because the Phoenix Suns have been doing a better job shooting the basketball. So if they can get some free throws, that will definitely help out the Warriors. Wiggins has 5 points. Make that 6. 62-49. 13-point lead for the Phoenix Suns. 10:50 to go in the third. Booker bringing the ball up the floor. Right now, the Suns are 13 of 17 at the line. Golden State's 5 of 8. That's a big advantage for Phoenix. Grayson Allen in the lane. His shot is short. Klay with the board. Thompson bringing it up the floor. Looney setting the ball screen. Thompson off that screen. Kicks to Looney. Kicks to Chris Paul. Paul back to Looney. And the ball is off of the Suns. So it will remain Golden State basketball. Definitely Chris Paul tried to thread the needle on that one. Get it down low to Looney. But there was no window. The Suns were all over that play. Really good defense there. 10:28 to go in the third. You've got Curry, and he's fouled by Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen did not do a good job on defense on that play. He just ran right into Curry. Curry looks incredulous because I think he's looking for a shooting foul, and he might not get it. Steve Kerr is looking for a shooting foul as well. Was it? Grayson Allen ran into Curry, and then Curry takes the jump. I don't know. It looked like the refs are just going to call it on the floor, and they do. Curry dribbling around, kicks to Looney, out to Klay Thompson. He's wide open. Grayson Allen doesn't even contest, and that's what happens when you don't contest the shot. Klay knocks it down, makes you pay. 62-52, 10-point game, 10-10 to go in the third quarter. Devin Booker with the ball. Devin Booker for 2, and it's good. 64-52. The axe is starting to heat up again. Suns lead by 12. Booker still on fire. Wiggins with the basketball. Over to Paul with KD on top of the key. Paul kicks down to a wide open Wiggins for the slam dunk. Beautiful pass by Chris Paul. That's why you want a good point guard on the floor that can set up the teammates. 9:40 to go in the third. Josh Okogie to KD in the mid-range. Durant's shot is a bit short. Looney finally gets the board over Nurkic. Curry driving to the hoop, and his shot is off the mark, but he's fouled. There have been a lot of fouls in this game. The Suns still have the free throw advantage, but there have been a lot of free throws and fouls in this game. Some sloppy defensive technique to start the NBA season for both of these teams. Klay Thompson, though, had a lot of time on that three, and he knocked it down. And Wiggins with a pretty dunk. Wide open, set up by Chris Paul, one of the best passing point guards of all time. And Curry, he knocks down the first free throw. Arguably the best shooter of all time. The Warriors have so much talent on the floor. The start of the game, they're showing that the Warriors were favored by 2.5. Now that currently in the game, they're a 4.5-point underdog to the Suns. We'll see how that shakes out, though, as the Warriors have cut it to 8 with Curry's 2 free throws. They're starting to get to the stripe more than the Suns in the second half. Booker, top of the key, trying to get the Suns back up by more, and Nurkic with an illegal screen. The Suns with an 8-point lead, but the Warriors are starting to have things go their way. After being down by 15 at the half, it's an 8-point game. Curry with the basketball. 10 turnovers for the Suns, 4 for Golden State. So Phoenix has definitely been sloppier with the ball than the Warriors have been. You've got Curry kicking it over to Wiggins, over to Chris Paul, to Klay Thompson. And is there a foul down low? There might be a foul down low on Nurkic. He's incredulous, but it looks like they're going to call a foul on him down low on a play that was not even relevant to who had the ball. Klay Thompson was fighting for his life at the top of the key to try to get open for a shot late in the shot clock, and Nurkic just battling down low with Looney gets called for a foul. What a way to blow up that possession for Phoenix, who was doing a good job on defense on that possession. But that really cost them there because the Warriors have a chance to cut the lead even further. Chris Paul with the ball over to Curry, and Curry knocks down the three. The Splash Brothers are heating up. And just like that, it's a 5-point game. Grayson Allen with the ball to Nurkic, back to Allen. Curry with the steal. Curry thought about the three. He takes the three, and it's a little off. Man, if that had gone in, the building would have exploded for the Warriors. Booker back the other way. Kicks to Grayson Allen for a wide-open triple. His three's off the mark. Paul with the board. Back the other way. Klay for three. Klay's off the mark. Curry with the offensive rebound, and he lays it in, and we've got a 3-point game, and Frank Vogel burns that timeout. 64-61, Phoenix over Golden State. 8:19 to go in the third. Unbelievable. Just like that, the Warriors are right back in it. That's why no lead is safe, though. Phoenix up by 15 at the half, feeling pretty good. It was 61-46. And all Phoenix has mustered to start this third quarter is 3 points. They've gone from 61 to 64, and Golden State has gone from 46 to 61. And they're starting to get hot at the right time. Before it's too late. They're not coming back late in the game. There's still tons of time to go. There's still plenty of time. You got around 20 minutes to go in the game, and the Warriors are only down by 3. There's still so many lead changes that can occur. Phoenix is going to have to continue to stay at the top of their game, or definitely the Warriors can come back and take advantage. And you see that rebounding advantage is going away. That's how important rebounds are. Phoenix at the half led 33-24 on rebounds. Now it's 35-29. And now the Warriors lead in assists. And those turnovers are creeping up for Phoenix. They've got 11 turnovers to Golden State's 4. And a lot of that has to do with Paul and Curry taking care of the basketball. Whereas you look at Phoenix, especially when Booker's not out there, sometimes not a true ball handler, a lot of mistakes, a lot of sloppiness. Jackson says the Warriors are making a pretty good run. For sure. I definitely would agree. Because, only 3 minutes and 41 seconds have gone off the clock since the half. 8:19 to go in the third. And the Warriors have definitely made a good run. There's still so much time left, so many more possessions left in this game that the Warriors could still take the lead and win by 20. That 15-point lead will be a distant memory. But the Suns are a talented team as well. No Bradley Beal. But they're still a really talented team. They just got to settle it down. After they had that timeout in the second quarter when they were down by 5, Frank Vogel got them back together. Booker started making some shots. So we'll see if that happens again. Maybe Phoenix can turn it around, get the crowd to quiet back down again if the Suns go on a run. But that's a big key too. You just can't let the home crowd influence the game. Warriors always have a good home crowd. And they are starting to get back into this game with the way that the Warriors are playing in this third quarter, playing really good basketball. The Splash Brothers are very fun to watch, especially when they're knocking down triples. They can get anybody up on their feet. Jackson said a 15-3 run is pretty amazing. Shoot, I'm using the word amazing too much. Suffer and succotash. Well, it is amazing. Definitely. Sometimes being redundant, not a bad thing, especially if it's true. And I would agree with you, Jackson. Amazing is the key word, what the Warriors are doing. I do agree that we've seen this from the Warriors for so many years that maybe it dilutes how awesome it is, but you still can't take it for granted. What the Warriors do out there on a game-to-game basis, getting down and then coming back with these 3-point runs from Klay and Curry, it is very fun to watch. But Phoenix, out of the timeout, what has Frank Vogel cooked up to get the Suns back on track? Booker to Grayson Allen. Allen in the paint. He kicks to Josh Okogie. Nowhere for him to go down low to Nurkic. Out to Allen, and Grayson Allen is very cold from outside in this game. And Klay Thompson, he's got the board. Up the floor. Chris Paul, he took a shot, but it don't count because there was a foul. Grayson Allen's had a rough stretch. for the Phoenix Suns early in the second half. He's had a couple bad fouls. He just can't get a shot to fall. We'll probably see Eric Gordon enter the game soon. 7:51 to go in the third quarter. Warriors only down by 3. They've had a great run to Jackson's point, and we'll see if they can continue that here. Curry with the basketball, top of the key, over to Chris Paul, who's being guarded by Devin Booker, who's had a fantastic game. Paul in the paint. Out to Curry. Curry's three's off the mark. That would have tied the game, but he couldn't get it to fall. Durant back the other way. In the lane with a step back 2 off the mark. The Suns have gone cold. Paul bringing up the floor, but Josh Okogie with the steal. What a play by Josh Okogie, and there's a blocking foul. Curry's upset. He thought that he had a charge on Josh Okogie. He does not like the call, but the Suns get bailed out there. Very sloppy basketball there by Chris Paul. He did not see Josh Okogie behind him. The Suns have been the sloppier team. The Warriors with a bad turnover, but then Curry got leveled on that play. He's got an argument. He has an argument for that being a charge, but he's not going to get the call. It could go either way. It did look like Josh Okogie tried to sidestep. Curry has 4 fouls too. That's something else to monitor. 4 fouls on Curry's to the bench right now. We'll see how the Warriors do without him. He cannot pick up a 5th. Nurkic down low, and he misses the shot, but somehow Josh Okogie tips it back in. I think it's an and one. Josh Okogie's had a good game. He's done a really good job on the glass, getting rebounds and putbacks. Definitely playing a part while the Suns have the lead. Nurkic missed that layup. It went off the rim, and it was off, and somehow had just enough on that tip to get it to go in. It's crazy. 7:12 to go in the third quarter. They're taking the points off, though. They had the points on the board, like they gave him the points, and it was going to be a foul, but it looks like they've taken off the points. So I don't know necessarily why. Maybe it's because of the fact that the foul occurred before the shot. I think that's what it was. The foul must have occurred before the shot. Booker in the lane, and his shot's off the mark. So the Suns only lead by 3, not by the 5, if Okogie shot had accounted. Booker misses a 3. Booker's finally got a bit cold. Warriors down the floor. Paul with the basketball. 6:50 to go in the third. Paul off the dribble for 2, and Chris Paul knocks down the mid-range shot, and it's a 1-point game. 64-63. 6:40 to go in the third. Grayson Allen with the ball. Kicks to Nurkic. Nurkic trying to find anybody to pass the ball to. He couldn't, so he just decided to shoot the jumper, and he knocks it down. Nurkic has played well. He's done a good job on the glass. Not as well lately, but still done a good job rebounding in this game. And he's hit a couple of jumpers. That definitely will help stretch the defense out. 66-63. Suns lead by 3. Looney to Gary Payton to Jonathan Kuminga. Some of the benches in for the Warriors. He misses. Kuminga gets the ball back, and he's fouled. So 6:10 to go in the third. It's 66-63. Phoenix with the 3-point lead. And there is a foul, I think, on Kevin Durant on Jonathan Kuminga's drive. Jonathan Kuminga drove in with full force on that play, trying to get to the rim. And sometimes if you can't get to the rim, the next best thing that you can do is get to the line. And Kuminga hits the first. So it's 66-64. It's a 2-point game. The Warriors have done a great job in this second half. They were down 61-46 at half, and now they're only down by 2, and Kuminga can only make him be down by 1 if he hits the second free throw, which he does. 66-65. Phoenix precariously holding on to the slightest of leads by 1, and Eric Gordon is into the game like I expected. Grayson Allen struggling to start the third quarter, but Eric Gordon with a turnover. Tried to get it to Nurkic. There just wasn't any room for that pass to go. Kuminga to Gary Payton. Warriors can take the lead. Chris Paul in the lane. Paul to the rim, and Paul with the score. Chris Paul showing he still has a burst in him. 67-66. 5:46 to go in the third. And Chris Paul has given the Golden State Warriors the lead, something that did not seem so probable at half when they were down by 15. But what a job the Warriors have done. They just outplayed the Suns in this second half so far. Still a lot of time left. Possibly the Suns can turn it around. Definitely can't count them out. They were just up by 15. But it does not look like they're playing as well as they were late in that second quarter. And Paul cans the free throw, so it's a 2-point lead. 68-66. The Suns are now up to 12 turnovers. The Warriors at 5. Eric Gordon and Nurkic. Top of the key to Booker. Booker shots off the mark, and Kuminga with a one-handed rebound. Oh, man, Devin Booker. He tried to steal the ball from Chris Paul, and he leveled Chris Paul. Thankfully, Chris Paul's okay, but that's a big foul there. Definitely not going to be anything excessive. They're not going to call, I don't think, a flag or anything like that, but that was a blatant foul on Devin Booker. He tried to reach in, but he just went with the wrong angle for where Chris Paul was going up the floor, and they collided. Chris Paul taking the contact, and he'll be at the line with a chance to put the Warriors up by more than 2. Now it's a 3-point lead. 69-66, and another free throw put them up by 2 possessions. What a response by the Warriors. Chris Paul has 8.4 rebounds and 8 assists. He hasn't had his best shooting performance in the world, but still having a fairly solid impact on this game. And it is a 2-score game, 70-66. The Warriors have outscored the Suns 24-5 in the second half. It was 61-46. Now the Warriors up 70-66. 24-5 run by the Golden State Warriors to give them the lead. Eric Gordon misses a 3. Phoenix cannot buy a bucket. Chris Paul back the other way. Kicks to Sark, out to Kuminga. Back to Paul, and now there's another big collision. Josh Okogie and Gary Payton II got tangled up, and both of them fall to the deck. There's a lot of hard fouls in this game. Both teams playing hard, you got to give them credit. But right now, Phoenix, they've got to do a better job of playing disciplined defense. I mean, they're defending, but they're running into who they're defending. And all that's going to do is allow the Warriors to get free points at the stripe. Just not smart defense by the Suns. They just have to stay in front of the guy they're guarding. And Gary Payton, he knocks down the first. 5:03 to go in the third. 5-point lead for the Warriors. He misses the second free throw, but Jonathan Kuminga with the offensive rebound and putback. Everything's going the Warriors' way right now. 73-66. 5 to go in the third quarter. Curry's loving it. The crowd is into it. What a shift in momentum. It's now a 27-5 run in the first 7 minutes of the third quarter. Absolutely insane how the tables have turned in this game. The Warriors, they're making twos. They're making free throws. They're making all the shots out there on the floor, wherever they are on the floor. Multiple players getting involved. They're rebounding the ball better in the second half. That was the biggest thing that I saw in the first half for the Suns they had going for them. They were really rebounding and out-rebounding the Warriors on a consistent basis. Nurkic was a name I kept calling out. Nurkic kept doing a good job keeping the ball away from Kevon Looney on the glass, giving the Suns more opportunities to score. That shifted. Definitely shifted in the second half. The Warriors are the ones rebounding better. The updated box score has shown now that instead of the Suns having a 33-24 advantage over the Warriors at the half and rebounding, which is a 9-point advantage, it's now a 37-36 rebound advantage. The Suns only have a 1 rebound advantage. And I do believe that that's played a difference and a role in the second half. The Warriors are now out hustling Phoenix. They're shooting the ball better than Phoenix. And if the Suns don't turn it around soon, it will become difficult for them to come back in this game because they are the ones on the road. The Warriors crowd is into it now. The Splash Brothers are playing well. They're knocking down 3. And Chris Paul, like I said a couple minutes ago, he has not had his best shooting night, but I really like the way he's playing, though. in the second half. He's decided, I'm going to attack the basket, get to the rim, play hard-nosed basketball, and I'm going to pass to my teammates. He's almost got double-digit assists, and that is what Steve Kerr wants from him. He doesn't want Chris Paul to score 25 points. It'd be great, but he wants Chris Paul to have double-digit assists, minimal turnovers, and just play smart basketball and attack the rim when you can. Get to the line, where Paul is a good free throw shooter. And that's why the Warriors are winning. They're doing all the things that they were not doing in the first half, particularly that second quarter. First quarter, they played pretty well. Second quarter, had a bad stretch. Now this third quarter, Phoenix has had an awful stretch. But there's still one quarter to go. Phoenix is not down by an insurmountable margin. It's only a 7-point deficit. Still a whole other quarter to go and 5 minutes left in the third. So still a lot can change. But this has been a very impressive stretch by Golden State. This has been a game that was really kind of defined by many runs. It was like the Phoenix Suns would go on like a little 8-0 run, and then the Warriors would go on a little 8-0 run, and they were like interchanging leads, and it was going back and forth. This 27-5 run that Golden State has had since the start of the second half has been the biggest singular run in the game by far. And it's like the only stretch where a team's just played bad basketball for a big stretch, which is what Phoenix has done. And credit to them, they were up by so much that they're only down by 7 right now. Like I said, they can turn this around, but they got to start hitting shots soon. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. But Phoenix, they've got the basketball, and they need a bucket in the worst way. 4:50 to go in the third. Eric Gordon has the basketball being guarded by Klay Thompson. Eric Gordon kicks over to Kevin Durant. Durant looking for someone to pass the ball to. He gets the screen, though, from Nurkic, passes to him, and kicks it down low to Okogie. And Okogie, with 3 Warriors defenders all around him, he gets the layup to fall. Josh Okogie's had a good game. Big shot for Phoenix to stop the run of the Warriors. 73-68. 5-point lead for Golden State. 4:20 to go in the third. Saric for 3. His shot's off the mark. But an offensive rebound for Golden State. Again, they've out-rebounded Phoenix. Gary Payton, though, missed the floater. He had the shot, couldn't get it to fall. That's a big miss. That really helps out Phoenix. It's a good look for Gary Payton, just couldn't get it to fall. But Kevin Durant with a turnover. Phoenix has turned it over about 13 times in this game, a lot more than Golden State has. Chris Paul, top of the key, blows by Nurkic, and he lays it in off the glass and one. What a play by Chris Paul. Chris Paul, the veteran point guard that the Warriors have acquired from the Phoenix Suns, taking contact from the center Nurkic. That's a hard fall for Chris Paul. You definitely do not want to see him taking a lot of falls like that, especially, again, this early in the season. They're going to need him throughout the year. He's kind of shaking his wrist a bit. Looks like he fell on it a little hard, but that was a fantastic play by Chris Paul, and he's showing the NBA world that he's still got it. And he knocks down the free throw. It's 76-68. 3:50 to go in the third quarter. Warriors with an 8-point lead. What does Phoenix have? Eric Gordon driving in the lane, and Eric Gordon, he misses a layup. He's looking for a foul. He doesn't get it. Chris Paul back the other way. Warriors lead by 8. Paul to Saric. Saric off glass. Good defense from Eubanks. Booker with the board. Booker down the floor. Booker to the rim, and he lays it in off glass. Beautiful play by Devin Booker. 76-70, 6-point game. Phoenix trying to hang tough despite this run by Golden State. Saric back to Paul, who's been feeling it in the third. Paul to Saric, back to Paul in the lane. Paul's blocked by Eubanks. Good defense. Moses Moody in the corner for the Warriors, though. He misses, and Watanabe with the board. Eric Gordon with the ball. Kicks to Booker. Booker in the lane, tries to get it to Eubanks, out to Watanabe for 3, and he knocks down the shot. 76-73, and Phoenix has cut it to 3. 2:53 to go in the third. What a response by the Phoenix Suns. Good defense on the other end. Nice block. And then Watanabe off the bench cashes in with the triple. And Phoenix not going away, not giving up. Really good basketball there by the Phoenix Suns. Hanging tough. They're a good enough team to win this game. Without Bradley Beal, it is tougher to win because of the fact that he is such a good player that they've acquired. But the way that they've played, they have enough talent all around, especially with Draymond Green out for the Warriors, to have a shot to win. And they had a 15-point lead at half. They were playing really well. But then the Warriors and the Splash Brothers started getting it going. And that's just tough to stop. No matter how good of a defensive team that you are, it is really tough to stop the Splash Brothers when they're knocking down shots. And they got going early in the third. And the Warriors were starting to push out the lead. They were getting close to having a double-digit lead. But now Phoenix is doubling down on defense, playing a little bit better. And now the Warriors have had to call a timeout. Frank Vogel had to burn 2 in the third quarter because of the way his team was playing. But now they countered. The Warriors had to call a timeout. That's big. That's a good response by Phoenix. Now Chris Paul's on the bench getting a much-needed breather. He's playing well for the Warriors, though. He's playing great. KD's on the sidelines for Phoenix, getting a breather as well. So some of the bench is in. Curry with the ball, though, for Golden State with a 3-point lead. This has been a really good basketball game to start the NBA season right in 2023. Kuminga on the block, and he's fouled. He is fouled down low by Nazir Little. Nazir Little into the game for the Phoenix Suns. They've acquired him as well in that trade with Damian Lillard between the Bucks, Trailblazers, and Suns. Nazir Little, a player out of North Carolina in college. He has talent. He's trying to find his way in the NBA. He's had his moments, but he fouls Kuminga. 2:42 to go in the third quarter. And Jonathan Kuminga's first free throw is good. 77-73. That's another thing about the second half. The Warriors have done a better job getting to the line. They've done better than Phoenix. Phoenix did a better job in the first half getting the stripe. Now the Warriors getting inside, getting fouled. That's what you want to do. Kuminga hits them both too. That's key as well to extending a lead. Hitting your free throws. 78-73. 2:30 to go in the third quarter. Eric Gordon kicks to Booker. Booker with the ball. Over to Nazir Little. And Nazir Little cans the three. A confident-looking stroke from Nazir Little. That's a good sign for Phoenix Suns fans. He has struggled from the three-point line in college basketball and in the NBA, but that was a pure-looking stroke, and he cuts it to 2. But it does look like Phoenix has fouled on the other end. 2:18 to go in the third. You don't want to foul the Warriors, especially Curry. He's going to knock down the free throws. It just looked like Watanabe got a little too handsy there. He needed to have his hands up. He got a little too low there, and he fouled Curry. And Curry's first free throw is pure. He's going to make the free throws. It's very hard to defend Curry with how good he is off the dribble. But one thing I can advise, do the best you can not to foul him. It's tough. Curry with 18 points, 3 boards. He's only 3 of 10 from 3. Not having the best shooting night in the world, but Curry still having a good game overall, and he knocks down both free throws. Not a shock there. 80-76. Warriors lead by 4 now. Been a back and forth couple of minutes here after the Suns had the bad stretch. Warriors got ahead, but now it's been going back and forth. But Eric Gordon, he's blocked on the other end. Curry to Kuminga. And Kuminga's blocked by Eubanks. What defense for Phoenix? Nazir Little to Watanabe. Back to Little to Eric Gordon. He takes the deep 3, and Gordon's shot is off the mark. Sark, he gets the board, but they're going to say the ball went over the backboard on Eric Gordon's 3. So they will have to inbound the ball, but it is Golden State's ball. But that was a great block by Eubanks. Kuminga went up, and right before that ball started to go down, he got the block. Curry driving in the lane. Curry to the rim, and Curry with the finish. Stephon Curry still got it. What a drive. Unbelievable play by Stephon Curry, showing that he is more than a shooter. We already know that. Obviously, with about a decade's worth plus of NBA action from Curry, he's been lighting it up for years, but he is also really good at getting to the rim. What a play by Curry. And Phoenix, they miss a 3, but there is a foul on the floor. Dario Saric fouled Eubanks. So with 1:18 to go in the third quarter, what a collision down low on the other end. And it looks like Phoenix might have some free throws if they're in the bonus, but if not, it will just be Phoenix Suns basketball. There's been a lot of contact in this game. It means both teams are playing hard. It also means you got to be a bit more disciplined in the future in these games coming up this season in the NBA. Can't have all these fouls, especially in the NBA where players can hit free throws. But you love the effort. Man, that was a hard foul. That was a really hard foul. They actually reversed the call. They actually called it on Eubanks. It did look like he's the one that fouled instead of Sark. So it ended up being Warriors ball. But the Warriors turn it over. That's been a rare sight in the second half. They've been pretty good at taking care of the ball, but they do turn it over there. And Josh Okogie cashes in with a bucket. 4-point game. 82-78. Sark with the ball. Looking for someone to pass to. He finds Curry at the top of the key. Curry off the dribble. Looking for somewhere to go. Curry falls on the floor. Kicks to Sark. Sark driving in to the rim. What a play by Dario Sark. A good pickup from the Suns. That's a good play. 84-78. Now Eric Gordon. He sees a lane to the rim, and Eric Gordon misses, but Josh Okogie with the putback slam. 84-80. 30 seconds to go in the third. 4-point game. If the Suns do pull out this win, Josh Okogie's a big reason why. He's been playing really good basketball. Doing good things off the bench. Now you've got Curry. Curry driving the ball. Curry kicks down low to Kuminga, and Jonathan Kuminga, like Josh Okogie, doing some special things as a complimentary player. He looks much improved this season. 86-80. 10 seconds to go in the third. Josh Okogie looking like a starter out there. Driving into the lane. He's blocked, though, by Sark. Curry back the other way. 1 second to go. He shoots the three, and it almost went, but it's no good. When Curry chunks up a shot from half court, you always believe there's a shot that's going to go in. That's the end of the third quarter. A 21-point swing. At the end of the first half, you had a 15-point lead for Phoenix. It was 61-46. Now Golden State leads 86-80. Big turn of events, but it could have been worse for Phoenix. There was a stretch there where Golden State looked like they were going to extend it to a double-digit lead, possibly even more, but Phoenix started to play a little bit better. They started to defend better, prevent the Splash Brothers from getting open shots. They did foul too much, but at least they were trying really hard to defend, but they were fouling a bit too much. But then Josh Okogie had a good end to that third quarter, like he did at the end of the second quarter. So we'll see if he can keep it up, if he gets any more playing time. He's been playing pretty well. But the Phoenix Suns are going to have to, in the fourth quarter, get back to the way that they were playing in the end of the second quarter. They have to rebound the basketball. And they have to be able to prevent the Warriors from getting to the line. You want to defend. It's a big key to defend them hard because you can't allow the Warriors to hit the jumpers, but you can't foul them either because then they're going to make their free throws. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Whatever Phoenix is doing is not working right now. They just have to play sound defense, hope the Warriors miss, and then they have to crash the glass. They have to out-rebound the Warriors in this fourth quarter because the Warriors did a great job in the third quarter rebounding over Phoenix, just like Phoenix did in the second quarter. So it's all going to come down to the final 12 minutes of this game to see which team is going to get their first win. We already have a team in the win column, the Denver Nuggets, the defending champs. They were able to beat the Los Angeles Lakers earlier tonight. Big win for Denver. It was on their own court, but still, Lakers are a tough team. Got talent, but Nikola Jokic with a triple-double to start off this NBA season. Jamal Murray had a good game. And they have a lot of really good players around them. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope also played well. For the Lakers, not a bad start to the season. The loss, you never want to lose, but it was a tough game. I'm sure they'll bounce back, get some really good wins in the coming days. LeBron, Anthony Davis just wasn't enough for Murray, KCP, and Jokic's triple-double. But now, in this game here, Phoenix trying to not do what the Lakers did and fall on the road. They're trying to go on the road without Bradley Beal, their star acquisition. Try to go out there and beat the Golden State Warriors on the road. Right now, down by 6 after leading by 15 at the half. Hummus Hero says, hey, guys, really appreciate you for stopping by, Hummus Hero. It's been a good game. Glad you're here. We're going to have a good finish. 12 to go in this one. Warriors lead by 6. Kerr being interviewed right now. Hummus Hero said, I didn't even know it was opening night. Probably a lot of people don't even know that it is, to your point, because you've got the MLB playoffs going on. That's a big deal. You've got college football going on. So many sports are going on right now. And hockey started. Hummus Hero said, crazy how long the NBA and NHL seasons are. Yeah, it's insane. Like, it just feels like the NBA just ended. I was doing live streams for the finals in June, and now suddenly the NBA's back in the regular season. It's crazy. Jonathan Kuminga, though, to start the fourth quarter, gets a bucket for the Warriors. Man, he's playing good basketball. 88-80. 11:30 to go in the fourth. Good one at the top of the key. Suns in an 8-point hole, but there is a foul down low. Kevin Durant got fouled on that play. 11:31 to go in the fourth. But you are right, Hummus here. It is insane how long the NBA season is. It's crazy. Sports Talk with Austin. Appreciate you for being here. So what's up, everyone? Go Nuggets and go Thunder. Yeah, really good for the Nuggets getting their first win. Just talked about it, Austin. Jokic with a triple-double. That was really awesome to see if you're a Nuggets fan. Them getting their first win after their title that they won last season. But on the other end, Kevin Durant cashes in on that mid-range jumper. 88-82, 6-point game. 11:10 to go in the fourth quarter. Curry with the basketball, trying to make a move. He does get around Goodwin. Curry looking for an opening. He does take a step-back jumper, and it does not go in. Phoenix with the ball. Goodwin looks for Eubanks. He does get it to Eubanks, trying to get it to Eric Gordon. Gordon in the lane. Gordon pumps face, kicks back to Eubanks, and there is a foul on Golden State. Hummus here said, I just can't wait to see Wemby in action. Yes, the Spurs playing tomorrow night against the Mavericks. That's going to be really cool to see how Victor Wembanyama plays. He was really good in the preseason. That's going to be fun. I'll be doing some more live streams for games, college basketball and NBA coming up. Don't know when I will go live next, but definitely we'll be going live in future games. Thought about doing college football a couple times in NFL, but we will see those games. Definitely a lot longer than the NBA, college basketball, but we'll see. But definitely we'll be going live for more basketball games in the future. Kevin Durant misses the shot, but then you have Goodwin with the layup. Opportunistic basketball by him, getting the offensive board and getting Phoenix to being only down by 4 right now. It's 88-84. But really do appreciate you for being here, Hummus here, and Sports Talk with Austin. We have a really good finish on our hands. Saric down low, misses the shot. Kevin Durant going down the floor all the way to the rim, and his shot is good. 2-point game. 88-86. The Suns are responding. Under 10 to go. Chris Paul trying to shake Goodwin. He cannot. Looking for Moody. Moody with the turnover. Goodwin up the floor. Kicks to Watanabe. He drives in the lane, and his floater is good, and we have a timeout on the floor. The Golden State Warriors do not like what they're seeing. They don't like the fact that Phoenix is coming back, have tied the game, hushed the crowd a little bit, and they burn a timeout. They have 3 left. So does Phoenix. Steve Kerr wants to talk about it and try to get his team back on track. Hummus Hero says, so the Suns still have Devin Booker. They do, Hummus Hero. They have Devin Booker. They have Bradley Beal now from the Washington Wizards, and they have Kevin Durant still. And they got Eric Gordon in the offseason, Yusuf Nurkic. So they don't have DeAndre Ayton anymore either. And I agree. Devin Booker is really good. That's one of the biggest things about this new NBA season, just trying to get acquainted with who's on who. Like Drew Holiday's with the Celtics. I mean, it's insane. There's so many moves. It's like this guy's with this team, and this player's over here. So many moves. It's wild. But definitely we'll get acquainted with these new players on these new teams. And then when you get used to them being where they're at, they'll go somewhere else. But do appreciate you for being your hummus hero. Like I said before, like the stream down below. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new, share the stream out on social media. But we've got a tie game. 9:46 to go in the fourth. Can't ask for much more on opening night in the NBA. 88-88 between the Suns and the Warriors. Two really good basketball teams with a lot of talent. And Phoenix doing it without Bradley Beal. He was out with a back injury. And the Warriors doing it without Draymond Green, who's out right now as well. Both are out with minor injuries. They should be back soon. But which team will be able to overcome having one of their best players on the sidelines? I thought for a while it would be Phoenix because they were about 15 at the half, but then the Warriors stormed back, took the lead like they were going to run away with it. Now Phoenix is coming back and have tied the game. I have no idea how this final 9:46 is going to go. It should be fun to watch. Devin Booker's been really quiet last few minutes. He was playing great in the first half. He's kind of cooled off a bit, but can he get back going? Or will Curry and Klay put this game away with some triples? We will definitely find out soon. 88-88. This game's going about the way I expected. I thought it would be a competitive game. I probably would say I was leaning the Warriors, especially once I found out Bradley Beal was out. No, Draymond's out, which is really tough, but the Warriors are a really talented team. But I definitely do believe that the Suns can win. Did at the beginning of the game, and I still do right now because they are playing well. And all it takes is for Devin Booker to just start lighting it up, or Kevin Durant. And that's another thing you talk about early in this game. Booker and Durant were getting to the stripe. They were getting to the line, which was huge. But then that kind of stopped happening. The Warriors became the team that were getting to strike. Curry, Klay, some of the other players. So it's going to be interesting to see which team takes advantage of the stripe going to the end of the game. Booker's on the bench right now taking a breather. 9:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Chris Paul being guarded by Goodwin. Now Klay down low to Looney. Wiggins, top of the key, driving in. Wiggins kicks to the corner to Payton to Paul for three, and Paul's three's off the mark. Eubanks with the rebound. Kevin Durant kicks it back to Eubanks. Goodwin with the basketball. 9:10 to go in the fourth. Which team's going to score first to break the tie? Eric Gordon, top of the key, kicks down low to Durant on the block with Payton guarding him. That's a size advantage for Durant. His step back shot, though, is off the mark. And finally, I thought the Warriors had it, but it goes back to the Suns. Eric Gordon to Gary Payton almost with the steal, but Goodwin ends up with it. It looked like Eric Gordon passed it to Gary Payton, but it actually went to Goodwin. It barely fit through there. But finally, it goes back to Eric Gordon, and he knocks down the three. He's been cold for a while. He now has 7 points. He had 4. Couldn't get a shot to fall, but that's why the Phoenix Suns got Eric Gordon to make shots like that. 11-0 run for Phoenix, and right as I say that, the 11-0 run has ended for Phoenix. 91-91. Tie game because Klay Thompson, one of the Splash Brothers, canned a three. 8:15 to go in the fourth quarter. Goodwin to Kevin Durant off the dribble. Durant to Goodwin. And there's a travel. That's a costly turnover by the Phoenix Suns. Goodwin had a little happy feet there. Frank Vogel does not like it. But Phoenix, if they don't win this game, the turnovers are a big reason why. They turned it over a lot more than Golden State has. 16 turnovers to 7 of Golden State's. They just showed that triple from Eric Gordon. That was a really good shot. Still have a tie game. Wiggins to Klay. Klay's three's off the mark, and Looney on the glass. Kicks to Klay. Klay Thompson's three's off again. So Durant with the board. So right now it's 7:45 to go in the fourth quarter. We have a tie game. Kevin Durant being guarded by Gary Payton, who's doing his best to try to prevent him from scoring. You have Watanabe in the corner. He can't knock down the triple. Klay Thompson back the other way. Under 7:30 to go in the fourth. Klay Thompson kicks to nobody. There was nobody there. He tried to kick it back out to the three-point line, but nobody was there to get that shot. That's tough right there for Klay Thompson. He just had nowhere to go with the basketball. Sometimes when you dribble too far into the paint, you get caught in no man's land, and somebody goes where you don't expect them to go to, and then you end up turning the basketball over. Now the Warriors have 8 turnovers. They have done a better job taking care of the ball than Phoenix has, but still, that's a costly mistake. Can Phoenix take advantage? Kevin Durant in the lane with a turnaround jumper, and his shot is off the mark. Now you've got the rebound by Looney, who's done a better job rebounding in this second half compared to what he was doing in the first half. Chris Paul driving into the lane, kicks to Wiggins, and Wiggins' shot is off the mark. Both teams have gone cold. 6:40 to go in the fourth. Eric Gordon trying to make a move, kicks to Eubanks. He's looking for someone to get the ball to. He does kick it back to Eric Gordon. In the lane, Eric Gordon to Eubanks. What a play by Eric Gordon. That's a great pass. He drove in, kicked it around, and Eubanks had the wide open dunk. That's a veteran play by Eric Gordon. 93-91, Phoenix back in front. What a game. 6:10 to go in the fourth. Wiggins driving into the lane, and Wiggins for 2, and we're tied again. 93 all. 6 to go in the fourth. What a play by Wiggins. Wiggins is so much better as a player than he was a few years ago. That's fantastic basketball off the dribble. Now KD being guarded by Wiggins. Durant gets a screen from Eubanks. Durant in the lane. Gets it to Eubanks, who decides to take a mid-range shot, and his shot's off the mark. And Looney, he crashing the board right there, getting the rebound. And Golden State has done a really good job in the second half, rebounding compared to what Phoenix has done in the second half. Phoenix did a better job rebounding in the first half. Wiggins on the block. Gordon guarding him. Gordon not giving up ground, almost with the steal. And Gordon gets the steal. What a play by Eric Gordon. Kicks to Durant, who kicks to Booker. And Devin Booker with the reverse layup. What a play by Kevin Durant to kick to the cutting Booker, and Booker with the reverse. That's beautiful basketball. I don't know that SportsCenter top 10, but that was a really good play. That was fantastic. 95-93. And we have a timeout on the floor by the Warriors. 5:22 to go in the fourth. Sports Talk with Austin says, hopefully Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder beat the Bulls tomorrow night, and both my teams get off on the right foot. Yeah, that would be awesome for you, Austin. Hopefully that they can do it for you. Again, the Nuggets looking really good. The Thunder looking to improve as well. So it's going to be really interesting. But appreciate you for being here. Jackson says, what's up? Sports Talk with Austin and to Hummus Hero. Hummus Hero says, hey, Jackson, I fell asleep and woke up to see Jeopardy was live and it's opening night for the NBA. I appreciate it, Hummus Hero. Yeah, like I said, I really don't think a lot of people know it's the opening night in the NBA. But they'll know in a little bit, because more of these games are going to be televised, and it's going to get back in the news that the NBA's back and how the players are doing, like Victor Wembanyama, some of the other rookies, and then you talk about the veterans. So definitely the NBA getting back into the swing of the season. The regular season is back. It's wild to me, though, how long, like you said, that the NBA season is from October all the way to June. You compare that to college football that's only going on from the beginning of September, outside of week 0 at the end of August, but basically the beginning of September all the way just to basically December. And then the championship game in January. That's very short compared to the NBA. It's insane. Hummus Hero says, I think the Suns team has a good balance of players. Do you think they have enough inside presence, though? That's a great question. I felt early in the game, the way Yusuf Nurkic was playing, that it kind of checked the boxes where it's like, you know what? They're doing a really good job on the glass. Nurkic doesn't really provide a lot of scoring, but as long as he does his job rebounding, and he was out rebounding Looney, then, I think that it kind of would answer your question to say, yes, I think the Suns do. But the second half, though, not so much. It kind of feels like the Suns do need another piece. I don't know how they're going to get it because of the fact they already have Bradley Beal, Booker, Devin Booker, and then Kevin Durant. That's so much that they're having to pay, so much talent that it would be hard for them to get a really good center. So they're probably stuck with what they have. But I would say right now, Hummus Hero, it's to be determined. I would say that we're going to need to see more from the center position from the Suns to say whether they have enough. Nurkic and Eubanks have been doing well at times in this game, but I don't think they've done well enough for me to say that they have enough inside presence. A lot of teams, though, can win without it. I mean, you can argue the Golden State Warriors don't have the best inside presence with Looney and Draymond Green, but they've won the titles they have, but you have to be really good shooting the basketball and at the other position for that to be able to happen, especially with the Jokic's and the Giannis's and the Joel Embiid's that you have to go up against in the NBA. It's really hard when you don't have a great center. So almost here, that's definitely to be determined. I would say probably right now, more likely that they don't, but they are really good at the other positions. RC says, only talk sports. Good to have you back, but I didn't say so myself. I appreciate that, RC. I'm glad to be back. Like I said, I would like to do college football games as well, and maybe eventually I might try to do it, but those games last a long time. NBA, college basketball are shorter, and I definitely really like doing the NBA games because they're just so frenetic up and down the floor. It's a lot of fun, but I appreciate you guys for being here. Definitely has been fun to get back into the swing of things. Looney down low. He lays it in and one. 95 all. 5:10 to go in the fourth. And Looney with a chance to get the Warriors back in front. I think they call that foul on Eric Gordon. What a drive by Looney. RC says, only talk sports the baseball season, saying that hockey, basketball, and crazy too in terms of season length. For sure. Baseball is a long time. And those games last a long time as well. Definitely. Baseball's been fun. I've actually watched more baseball this year than I usually do. I don't watch a lot of baseball. I usually kind of like flip it on. There's not much else on, but I've watched it more this year. It's been kind of fun for sure. And Looney hits the free throw. They're up by one. The Warriors. Booker with a step back shot. It's off the mark. Down low. Nurkic tried to get the shot to fall, but it doesn't happen. But then Booker somehow gets the basketball out of the fray, and he lays it in. 97-96. 4:40 to go in the fourth. The Suns lead by one. And down low, Jonathan Kuminga with an offensive foul. Down low, Devin Booker drawing the foul. That is a big play because the Suns lead by one, and then you have a mistake by one of your younger players in the Warriors. That's a big swing. 4:41 to go in the fourth. Hummus here says, yeah, good point. You can win without a dominant post player. For sure, it can be done, but you definitely have to be really good at the other positions. It is so difficult if you're not a great shooting team or you don't have a dynamic point guard to get it done. So it will be interesting to see if the Suns have enough to win without one of the better bigs in the league. Because even with DeAndre Ayton, it's not like they have one of the best bigs in the league. And now with Nurkic, they probably downgraded. I wouldn't say they've downgraded completely. I feel like Nurkic will do a better job rebounding, and maybe, he is a little bit bigger of a body, but in certain respects, Ayton was kind of like a bit better of a mid-range scorer. So it's going to be interesting to see that. Bradley Beal being added, he's a better scorer than Paul. But now the Suns don't really have like a true point guard. So it will be interesting. It's like the Clippers. The Clippers' biggest issue last season, obviously, beside the injuries to Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, they didn't have a point guard. They had Eric Gordon, had Bones Highland, but they didn't have a true point guard, so it's crazy. RC says, only talk sport. I love women's college basketball the way you love men's college basketball. It's my bread and butter. I watch sometimes like a couple of games, like if they're really big and they're on TV, but I definitely watch men's basketball a lot more than women's basketball. But women's basketball, a lot more people are watching it. A lot of great players. And, that the championship game between LSU and Iowa was a big deal, LSU getting the win. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. There's a lot of really good women's college basketball players. So definitely, that's awesome for sure. But men's college basketball, fun as well. But I appreciate you for being here, RC. Definitely, you've got Caitlin and Iowa as a part of your name for sure. So it's awesome that a lot of people have fun watching. Definitely, I can see why you enjoy it for sure. Hummus Harris says, college football is my favorite sport, and of course, it's the shortest season, laughing aloud. Yeah, I know. I love college football so much, but it's short. Like, it's already halfway over almost. It's insane. I mean, it just started, and the regular season's halfway over. You do have the bowls and the playoff, but it's crazy. Those teams have already played 7 or 8 games, and it just feels like college football is going to be done before we know it. But then we got basketball and still the NFL. Some people, don't watch the NFL, but and for sure, the sports season – every sport's different. The calendar, different month, a different thing is like the biggest sport at that time. It's crazy for sure trying to keep up with it all. But try to do the best I can at Only Talk Sports to cover as much as I possibly can, and I really do enjoy it, and I really do appreciate you guys for being here. Means a lot. RC said I was about to go to bed, then I was like, wait a minute. Only talk sports still. I love basketball, and I watch the Lakers Nuggets game, but these late games can be tough on certain nights, For sure. Definitely. I mean, the earlier games are better for people because of the fact, like, especially on the East Coast if you have to go to bed. But, like, the later games, like, you don't really have as much going on, and more people are kind of, like, just, like, laying in bed or maybe just trying to watch, or whatever, something like that before they go to bed. And sometimes you stay up too late, and it's tough the next night. I mean, when you're on the West Coast, it's a lot better. But I do appreciate you for being here, RC. If you have to go to bed, though, I completely understand, but I do appreciate you for being here. The Lakers-Nuggets game was really good, too. I tuned into some of that one. Jokic was on fire, playing great as always with the triple-double. The defending champs already in the win column. Can the Suns beat the Warriors on the road? They have a 1-point lead. 4:30 to go in the fourth. Grayson Allen's back into the game for Phoenix. Devin Booker with the ball. He misses the three. Grayson Allen tips it out to Durant. Back to Booker. Down low to Okogie. Back to Booker again. And Booker cans the three. 196. 4:10 to go in the fourth, and that's a big shot. Phoenix now up by 4, which is still a very small lead. But, man, Phoenix has a shot here, and the Warriors miss on the other end. Phoenix up 4. 4 to go in the fourth. Now under 4. Booker with the basketball. Kicks over to Grayson Allen, over to Nurkic, who has done a good job on the glass. Not as much in the second half, but still done well. Durant, turnaround jumper. His shot is off the mark. Curry with the ball. Chance to go down the floor and try to bring back the Warriors a bit. Cut the deficit. 3:30 to go in the fourth. Curry in the lane. And it's a turnover. Great defense from Booker. Booker kicks down low to Okogie. Kicks out that Grayson Allen in the corner. He misses a shot. Grayson Allen cannot find his stroke in this game. Curry down the floor, and he's fouled. So with 3:21 left, he is fouled by Nurkic. RC says, Hummus here, thanks to the bus. I watched more than college football than I have in recent years. Definitely the Deion Sanders story, it was a big deal for sure. They're trying to stay, on track to get a bowl this year. They're 4-3. That Stanford loss, though, hurt, but they can still get there if they get a couple more wins. It's definitely awesome to see Deion turning Colorado around a bit. Hummus here said, yeah, it's cool RC on the Aces, Caitlin and Iowa. For sure. Hummus here said, I generally only watch women's college basketball at tournament time, but I will watch a Lady Buckeye game this season if I get the chance. For sure. I mean, definitely if the team you like has a good women's college basketball team, like North Carolina has a good women's team. Indiana does. South Carolina. Indiana used to not, but they're a lot better. Iowa, Maryland, LSU, Stanford. Tennessee's been like the standard for so long. UConn as well has been the standard more recently than South Carolina. So a lot of good women's basketball teams. RC said Book Cooks for sure. Devin Booker is fantastic. Clint Moses, thank you for stopping by. Beaver fan, he says, go Beavs. Gary Payton to say versus Drew Eubanks both went to Oregon State. That's cool. I'm hoping Oregon State can get back on track in basketball for you, Clint. But this game's been frenetic the last couple minutes because Curry, he hit the first free throw. He missed the second. And then now the Suns had the ball going the other way, but then they turn it over. So it's 100-97. 3:07 to go in the fourth. And I think we might have a timeout on the floor. Is there going to be a review? Let's see. You got Booker. Yeah, Booker just lost the ball. There wasn't a foul. He just lost the ball. It's going to be Golden State Warriors basketball. I think Steve Kerr called timeout to talk it over. 100-97, 3:07 to go in the fourth quarter. We've got a good game on our hands and possibly a great ending. We'll have to see what happens. Can the Suns go on the road without Bradley Beal and knock off the Golden State Warriors? Or will the Warriors, after being down 15.5, they took the lead, and then they have fallen behind again. Can they come back and win without Draymond Green at home and get their first win of the season in opening night of the NBA? Still crazy. I know I've said it a couple times, but it's still crazy that the NBA is already back in the regular season. It's October 24th, now 25th on the East Coast, and the NBA is already back, and it's going to go all the way till June. RC says Curry missed a free throw. Everyone pat your pot, see if your wallet's still there. Definitely. I mean, a lot of players, if they miss a free throw, if they're really good at the line, they miss one, it's crazy. Like Kevin Durant or Booker, or Curry, Klay, like these guys on this team. There's a lot of other players as well on other teams. When they miss a free throw, it's insane because they never miss. That's a good one, RC. You always bring the great lines for sure. Appreciate all of you guys for being here. But we've got 3:07 to go in this game. Who's going to pull out the win? The Warriors, they have one timeout left. The Suns have two timeouts left. What did Steve Kerr draw up in the timeout? Curry gets it to Chris Paul. Paul in the lane with that classic mid-range jumper, and he knocks it down. 100-99, the Warriors down by one. Can the Suns respond with a bucket of their own? You've got Devin Booker being guarded by Curry. Now Kuminga's guarding, kind of a little double team there, but Booker gets out of it. Booker falls to the floor, kicks to Allen, but they're going to call a travel on Devin Booker. When he slipped to the floor, they're going to say that he walked before he got that ball out to Allen. And Allen missed the three anyway, and the Warriors were going to get the ball on the rebound. The Warriors have 22 points off turnovers, and the Suns only have 9. The Suns have 18 turnovers. The Warriors have 10. Like I said, if Phoenix loses, the turnovers are a big reason why. They've been very sloppy. It is game one, but still can't be sloppy with the ball and expect to win a big game. Curry with the basketball, being double teamed. He chucks up a three. It's off the mark. And then Looney fouls Booker. It has to be a foul. I don't think they called a foul. I think they called it off the Suns. I'm really shocked there's no foul there. Frank Vogel's looking for a replay, but Devin Booker got decked by Kevon Looney, and there was no foul call. Insane. I know it's two guys going for the ball, but I don't know how there was no foul called there. The Warriors retained possession, but that should have been a foul. Chris Paul, top of the key. Kicks to Curry. Down low to Looney. And Looney loses the basketball, so the Suns get it back anyway. 2:06 to go, and another mistake by the Warriors. They've been sloppier last couple minutes. They only had like 8 turnovers. They're up to 11. They have 5 turnovers this quarter to the Suns 3. KD with the basketball. Can he get Phoenix a bucket? They haven't scored in a couple minutes. 100-99. Kevin Durant being guarded by Klay Thompson. Now he's got Grayson Allen. A pass to him. A Koji down low to Nurkic, and there's a turnover. Kevon Looney with the steal. Very bad pass by Josh Okogie. Klay Thompson to Chris Paul. $1:35 left. Paul for 3. It's off the mark. And there's a foul down low. Jonathan Kuminga got the offensive rebound. Off the Chris Paul 3. And he's going to the line. I'm pretty sure that is a foul on a shot. And if it is, he will be going to the line. Both teams battling on the floor. That's what you love to see. Kuminga's first free throw is up. And it's no good. Wow. Jonathan Kuminga's had a pretty good game. But that's a big miss by him at the line. 1:32 to go in the fourth. Eric Gordon's back in the game for Grayson Allen. And Kuminga's second free throw is off the mark as well. And Durant, he ends up with the board. So Golden State misses 2 key free throws right there that could have either tied or taken the lead in the game. And then Kuminga fouls Booker. So Kuminga with 2 massive mistakes. He's a young player, and he's got a bright future ahead of him if he continues to improve. But those are 2 big mistakes. Missing 2 free throws. And then he fouls Booker. He's still in the game, but that's rough. Curry with 5 fouls and Kuminga with 5 fouls. Booker with the basketball, top of the key. Booker with Kuminga still on him. He kicks to Okogie in the corner, and Okogie buries the triple with 1 second on the shot clock. Phoenix leads by 4 minutes to go. Can Curry knock down a shot? Get the Warriors back in it. He drives and he draws a foul. I think the foul's on the floor, but Phoenix is in the bonus. Nurkic does not agree, but that's smart by Curry. Don't chunk up the three. Get to the line, draw a foul, make your free throws, cut the lead down. Sports Talk with Austin says, I'm looking forward to how the Magic led the season, a very young and talented team, and they put it all together, make the playoffs playing. Possibly. It's hard when you're young, though, because so many teams have so much experience. It makes it very hard as a super young team to win. Kind of like in college basketball, like in Kentucky. When you have a lot of freshmen, it's very hard in this day and age with the transfer portal, players staying for 5 and 6 years of college basketball to win when you're full of freshmen. It's very difficult. Curry knocks down both free throws. So it's 103-101, but that could be true, Austin, with the way the Magic are young and talented. Maybe they can sneak into the playoffs like the Thunder did last year in the play-in. We'll have to see. Going to be very interesting. Maybe they'll need a little bit of help. 103-101. Booker top of the key. Phoenix leads by 2. Kicks to Eric Gordon, and Eric Gordon cans the triple. 106-101. That's why the Suns brought him over from the Clippers. That's what Eric Gordon can do. He's actually top 25 in the NBA all-time in three-point shots made. That's crazy. Paul misses a 3 on the other end, so he cannot replicate what Eric Gordon did. But then Stephon Curry, he gets the rebound and he knocks down the 3. Curry's clutch. He was being guarded and he cans the triple. 30 seconds left. 106-104, and we've got a timeout on the floor. Man, this ending is going to be good. Sports Talk with Austin's closing time, either Durant or Curry, he was going to make the big-time shots. For sure, possibly Booker as well. Booker can definitely do it, maybe Klay, but I know what you mean, Austin. Durant, Curry, definitely up there as the guys you want with the ball in their hands, especially Curry. Right there, you've got a missed 3 from Golden State. They're down by 5, and things look like they might just be about done. But what happens? Somehow, the Suns don't end up with the rebound, and Curry gets the ball, and he's heavily guarded, but he ends up knocking down a 3, and we've got a 2-point game. So now the Warriors don't have to resort to fouling, hope the Suns miss, and then they got to hit some threes. Now the Warriors can play straight-up defense. They get a stop. They can hit a 2 or 3, tie, or take the lead and win the game. It's going to be a good finish. RC says Kuminga. Yeah, he's had a couple bad plays. The kind of plays Kuminga's making that either gets you pound the bat light, you'll get the next hour, or gets you back to the bench. Yeah, for sure. And he's, again, very talented. And that's why the Warriors are investing a lot of time in him, because they feel like he can be really good, especially with Draymond Green out. That's why he's playing more. He won't play as much when Draymond Green's back. But, yeah, he's made a couple mistakes. But how did Curry make that shot? I have no idea. He was heavily guarded by Koji. Curry just never ceases to stop amazing NBA fans. He's that good shooting the ball. 30 seconds left in this game, and Phoenix has the ball. They can hit a shot here. They can maybe put this one away. Hummus here said the Suns hitting big shots in crunch time. I agree. Can they hit another big one? Devin Booker with the basketball, being guarded by Gary Payton II. 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Booker trying to get some space. Nurkic with a screen. Booker with 5 seconds on the shot clock. Booker kicks to Nurkic for 2. 108-104. He was double-teamed, Booker was, and he found the open Nurkic down low. After he set the screen, he flared to the basket. That's a great play by Devin Booker. Such an experienced play. He's still on the younger side as a player, but he's getting some veteran experience. He's been in the league for a few years, and then you can just tell that's a veteran play. Didn't panic, didn't take the jumper, decides to pass it to the rolling Nurkic down low, and he possibly just hit the game-sealing shot. Because now Phoenix is up 4. 10 seconds left. The Warriors have to score quick and then foul. Unless somehow the Warriors hit a 3, if Curry hit a 3 and then he's fouled, which could happen. You never know. But not likely. RC says CP3 needs to stop shooting threes as significant others name the mid-range. That's a good one, RC. I agree. It's kind of like Kevin Durant to an extent as well, even though he can shoot threes also. But Kevin Durant's best in the mid-range. Same with Chris Paul. Chris Paul in the mid-range, especially younger in his career, early in his career, he was clutch. Never missed in the mid-range. And he has hit a couple mid-range shots in this game, but he has shot more threes than probably Steve Kerr would like. And I will update the rebounding stats. The Suns have 60 rebounds, the Warriors at 49. Remember, the Suns had a 9-rebound advantage. It was up 33-24 at the half. Then the Warriors cut it to a 37-36 rebounding advantage just for the Suns by 1. Now the Suns have an 11-rebound advantage again. That's why the Suns are winning. Can the Warriors do anything, though? Chris Paul kicks to Klay. Back to Paul for 3, and Paul cannot hit the shot. Looney kicks it back out to Klay Thompson. He can't make a shot. Okogie with the board, and that's your ball game. 108-104 final. The Phoenix Suns, without Bradley Beal, went on the road, and they got the win. What a performance by the Phoenix Suns. As you see, the Lakers, they fell short to the Denver Nuggets, the defending champs, on the road. Couldn't get it done. But then the Phoenix Suns, they were able to go on the road and beat the Golden State Warriors 108-104. And the turnovers were a problem. Phoenix was not perfect in this game. They had a lot of turnovers. But they started to force more Golden State Warrior mistakes as the game went on. And Devin Booker was clutch. He made big shots. And like you said, RC, 100% agree. He came to play. But the final play that sealed the win was when he passed it to Nurkic. And that just shows you the growth and development of Booker. He knows when he has to score, and he knows when he's got to get the ball to his teammates. And he had 32 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists. That's a complete effort from Devin Booker. Durant had a pretty solid game. Okogie was good as well. Eric Gordon had his moment. So definitely without Bradley Beal, the Phoenix Suns had enough from their other players, the new acquisitions that they have gotten, to win this game. Draymond Green was out for the Warriors. That was tough. And Curry and Klay tried, but there just wasn't enough from the Warriors. They did a good job stealing the ball, forcing turnovers from Phoenix, but they had a few too many themselves, and they just didn't rebound enough. Phoenix did a good job rebounding it. Like we talked about earlier, with Phoenix not having a dominant post player, this was a good game for them. I know that they didn't play a team with a dominant big. I know Looney's a good rebounder, though, so it's still pretty important. Phoenix did a great job on the glass, out-rebounding the Warriors by 11, which I think was a big stat in why they won the game. They had a lot more second-chance opportunities because of those rebounds, and they cashed in on several of those, with Booker, Eric Gordon, Kevin Durant hitting some shots off those putbacks, those second-chance points. Very key. Hamas Hero says Booker is fun to watch. Absolutely. He is an awesome player. He's getting better every year, and he's absolutely one of the best shooting guards in the league. Jackson says, what a big one for the Suns. Congrats to the Phoenix Suns. I thought this would be a great game, and it was. It definitely lived up to the billing. The game earlier was pretty good, too, but this was a closer game, a very hard-fought game. It looked like a playoff game with the way that both teams displayed effort on the floor, and that's what you want to see. It's not the playoffs. It's not toward the end of the regular season. It's NBA opening night. But we saw two teams fighting, battling, scrapping on the floor. There were mistakes. And we saw rookie mistakes and younger player mistakes. We saw a lot of sloppiness. But it wasn't a perfect effort from both teams. But the Phoenix Suns found a way to get the win on the road. It's going to be interesting to see how the season unfolds as we get further and further along. It's just the first 2 games of the season. There's going to be more games tomorrow. Victor Wembanyama in action. The Celtics are in action tomorrow. That's going to be fun. I will be live streaming games in the future. Don't know when I'll go live again for what sport, if it will be the NBA or college basketball, but I will be back in the future for more live soon. But I really do appreciate you guys for being here. You guys were awesome in chat tonight. This was an awesome game. Like the stream down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And share the stream out on social media. But most importantly, thank you guys for being here. What a start to the NBA season. The Nuggets, the defending champs, beating the Lakers. And the Phoenix Suns getting a big win on the road versus the Golden State Warriors. It was a lot of fun to watch. Both teams battle hard. Did not know who would win till the end. And that's what you want to see in a ball game. And the Suns persevere without Bradley Beal, getting their first win of the season. Chris Paul and the Warriors, his new team, they just fell short. Curry played well. It just wasn't enough, but I'm sure that they'll come back with Draymond Green in the future and get some big wins. It's going to be awesome. Hummus Hero says, thanks, Jeffrey. Looking forward to more games. Definitely, I cannot wait. And again, appreciate you for being here. Thanks for being here, everybody. Like I said, I'll be back for future games soon. What a great start to the NBA.